Chapter 27. Lowly Erlang Shun, grandson, why are you in such a hurry to tag me? Do you want pocket money? When Yizichin didn't show himself, the deities all thought that they couldn't fight anymore, so they prepared to retreat. But when this news came out, it immediately caused a huge uproar. Erlang Shun, little bastard, you've finally come out. Quickly report your celestial title. What the hell was a celestial title? How could Yizichin have one? He curled his lips and sent 3 disdainful emojis. What's the use of announcing your immortal name? Whoever is stronger will be the boss. Tell me your coordinates, and we'll meet face to face. The moment Yizichin said that, all the surrounding deities were shocked. He thought to himself, the celestial sovereign is too cool. He actually dared to challenge Erlang Shun to a fight. Erlang Shun was clearly stunned as well. He had been famous in the immortal realm for over 1,000 years. Other than the monkey who dared to challenge him, everyone else had to take a detour whenever they saw him. This kid actually dared to ask him out. All right, let's meet face to face then. He wasn't a war god for nothing. If Erlang Shun was afraid of a fight, then he wouldn't be able to survive in the future. Ding dong. Yizichin directly sent the map over. The moment the map was sent, the group fell silent once again. What is this? I don't understand. I've never seen this before. What is this place? Erlang Shun was also dumbfounded. He did not understand what these crisscrossing lines were. What did you send? This is my address. Bingqing University of Science and Technology. Come on. How? TSK. This is a secret place. I was only able to come here by chance. You asked me how I came here? How could I possibly know? Erlang Shun went silent for a while, then exploded. You're messing with me, right? You're not qualified to fool you. I've already told you the address. If you can come, then come. If you can't, then scram and feed the dogs. I'm going to die of anger. I'm going to die of anger. Boom. A cat fight was about to break out. Erlang Shun, as the #1 force in the celestial realm, had never tasted defeat in thousands of years. In the blink of an eye, Erlang Shun's hand speed exploded and filled the screen with his messages. Yizichin merely smiled in disdain when he saw that. He casually sent an online joke over. Although Yizichin didn't have the advantage in numbers, every word he said was critical. You little bastard. You're a dog of the heavenly court. Don't be arrogant in front of me. I'll beat the shit out of you if I see it. You're a dog of the heavenly court. You're playing dumb with me. You're a dog of the heavenly court. Your sister let a mortal sleep. Your sister also slept with a mortal. Your Chang doesn't love you. Chang'e, what does that have to do with me? At the beginning, Yizichin would only say 10-odd sentences for Erlang Shun. Then, he would say 1 sentence for each of them. In the end, Erlang Shun didn't even know what to say anymore. Yizichin had won the battle. Grandson, follow the coordinates and find him. You can't fight. Yizichin sent the message with a cold smile, followed by 3 emojis of disdain. Ding dong. Erlang Shun has sent you a friend request. Accept. Grandson, what's up? Yizichin was still basking in the glory of his victory. Fellow immortal, I feel that we are fated. Why don't we become sworn brothers? What the hell? Sworn brothers. As expected, Yizichin took a look at the friendliness level behind Erlang Shun. 100. Friendly. This bastard is a scumbag, right? He even scolded me high after scolding me. Damn. No. Yizichin directly refused. However, Erlang Shun sent another message over. Bro, we gotta know each other through fighting. This god has never met a worthy opponent in the fighting circles of the celestial realm. The so-called experts are lonely. Seriously, I'm too empty. Every time I start a fight, it's to find someone who can defeat me. Today, you finally appeared. Bro, I sincerely want to become sworn brothers with you. You should also know that I'm like this in the heavenly court. After Erlang Shun said that, he even sent a thumbs up. #1. Then where did the Jade Emperor rank him? However, Yizichin thought about it. Becoming sworn brothers with Erlang Shun isn't too bad. To be honest, he was too impulsive when he fought with Erlang Shun in the group. If any deity pointed out that they had never seen him before, or if Erlang Shun asked him to say his celestial title, then he would be exposed. If he became sworn brothers with Erlang Shun, Then even if he was exposed, he would directly Erlang Shun. Erlang Shun would definitely be able to tear the person who criticized him into pieces. All right, Sworn Brothers. Ding dong. Erlang Shun requests to become Sworn Brothers with you. Accept. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Erlang Shun increased by 100. Current intimacy level, trusted. You are 400 away from respected. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. He didn't think that the intimacy level would increase by 100. This was because he had been in the deity group for so long. The first trusted was born. Bro, how should I address you? This sovereign's Dharma name is Nameless. You can just call me Brother Nameless. Brother Nameless. Erlang Shun was extremely friendly, causing Yi Zichen to feel the magic of trust. Now, even if the Jade Emperor told Erlang Shun that Yi Zichen wasn't a deity and kicked him out of the group, this idiot would have to fight with the Jade Emperor. Brother Nameless, add my family's Howling Celestial Dog as a friend. If you can't find me here in the future, you can send me a message from Howling Celestial Dog. Xiao Celestial Dog has sent a friend request. Accept. Xiao Tian Quan. Woof woof woof. F *CK. It was indeed a dog. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's phone suddenly rang. When he took a look, he saw that it was Erlang Shun who sent him a red packet. This Erlang Shun really knows what to do. Yi Zichen smiled and opened the red packet. You have received Erlang Shun's red packet. Invincible Vajra X1. Invincible Vajra. It seemed to be the Monkey King's skill. I don't know what to give Brother Nameless either. This is a secret manual that I sent Xiao Tian Quan to steal from the monkey a while ago. I'm giving it to Brother Nameless. This Howling Celestial Dog was quite capable. How could he steal a secret manual from the Monkey King? It seemed like the Monkey King had always been the one stealing from others. However, to be honest, Yi Zichen really wanted the 72 transformations. Brother, this Invincible Vajra is a skill of the Monkey King. I can barely use it. I wonder if the 72 transformations can. Brother Nameless, it's not that I'm stingy. The main thing is that the 72 transformations is too special. All right, then never mind. Yi Zichen didn't force it since he couldn't trick it. It was already good enough that it had the Invincible Vajra. Thinking about it, since this guy already gave him a secret manual, Yi Zichen looked around. Coincidentally, a storybook entered his sight. Scan. Erlang Shun received your red packet. This is? Open it and take a look. It's definitely useful for you. Do you know why you can't beat me in a fight? It's all because of this book. Then I have to take a good look. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with Erlang Shun increased by 50. Current intimacy level, trusted, 350 away from respected. Ugh. This number. Yi Zichen smiled helplessly, then clicked open the treasure chest. Invincible Vajra. Chapter 28. Demolition Disturbance 10. Whole days passed by. It could be said that Yi Zichen couldn't stop using the unbreakable body scripture. The secret scripture that Erlang Shun gave him was the first level of unbreakable body scripture. It was roughly strong enough to block knives, spears, and sticks. However, if it was a firearm, then it would most likely be useless. What's more, unbreakable body scripture was actually just a layer of protective chi that could be released and retracted at will. Release it when you want to use it, and retract it when you don't. 2 words. Convenient. Easy. What are you going to do on the weekend? How about it? Do you want to go out with me? Su Yun leaned against his expensive Ferrari and raised his eyebrows towards Yi Zichen. Where would I have the time? I have to go home and bring my mom over. Before he finished, Yi Zichen's phone rang. The caller ID showed that it was Annie. Actually, this Annie was not his relative, but a neighbor. However, she had always taken good care of his family. Auntie. The corner of Yi Zichen's mouth raised slightly, but his expression quickly turned cold. All right, I got it. Slap. The call ended. Yi Zichen's entire face turned terrifyingly green after picking up the phone. Yi, what happened? Yi, what exactly happened? Su Yun's face was filled with worry as he looked at Yi Zichen's green face. From start to finish, Yi Zichen maintained his silence. However, his fists were tightly clenched and didn't relax for a single moment. OL3. Send me back home. Yi Zichen's home was a small village outside of Bingqing. Due to the development of cities and towns, the surrounding villages and suburbs were gradually bought and demolished by developers. Dozens of people gathered in front of a collapsed house. Most of them were residents of the village. Most of the villagers held shovels and shovels in their hands. There were also 10 odd men in black vests holding sticks and clubs in front of the developers. Mom, at that moment, a call sounded out from the crowd. The surrounding villagers and developers all turned their heads around. Isn't this Lil Ye's child? Many villagers recognized the person. At the same time, a woman walked out from the ruins. Although the woman wore plain clothes, her every movement carried a faint aura. What's more, her smile was extremely amiable. She was Yi Zichen's mother, Yi Rong. Zichen, why did you come back? Yi Rong's voice was filled with unconcealable joy. Yi Zichen quickly ran to her side and examined her a few times. Mom, are you hurt? No. When the developer demolished the house, I was with your aunt. Yi Rong's face was full of smiles, and her mood was not at all affected by the demolition of the house. Yi Zichen looked at the collapsed building with lingering fear. If his mother had really been inside at that time, when he thought about how close his mother had been to danger, Yi Zichen couldn't suppress the fury in his heart. He quickly walked to the front of the villagers and looked at the developer opposite. Who's the boss here? I am. A man of about 30 years old walked out from inside. Don't you know that demolition is very dangerous? What if there are people inside during the demolition? So what if there's someone inside? Let me tell you, it's better if there's someone inside. It's just a life. It's not like we can't afford it. The developer's representative's tone was filled with disdain. When the surrounding villagers heard that, they all revealed expressions of anger, while Yi Zichen's gaze also turned cold. Creak! Yi Zichen clenched his fist tightly, then looked up and stared at the developer. What did you say again? Brat, stop acting like a big shot here. I'm telling you, if someone dies during demolition, then so be it. He's lucky that he didn't die. Slap! A card was thrown at the developer's representative's face. There's 5 million in this card. What do you want to do? What? A cold light flashed across Yi Zichen's eyes. Buy your life. Brat, are you F*King seeking death? The developer's representative roared, then shouted towards the thugs behind him. Teach him a lesson. What's going on? Are you going to let me sleep? At that moment, a young man with a cigarette in his mouth walked out of a black MPV. The young man walked towards Yi Zichen with a frown. The developer's representative instantly smiled apologetically. Young Master Huang, someone wants to cause trouble. Who actually dares to cause trouble in my territory? The young man looked up with a frown. When he saw Yi Zichen, Yi Young Master Yi. This is your project, right? Yi Young Master Yi. It's a misunderstanding. It's really a misunderstanding. The young man in front of Yi Zichen was Xiaohai's cousin, Huang Ming. This project wasn't actually his family's. He just came here to join in the fun and see if he could use his cousin's face to get some benefits. Misunderstanding? Yi Zichen suddenly laughed. You're standing here, and you're telling me that all of this is a misunderstanding? Young Master Huang, hurry up and apologize to Young Master Yi. Huang Ming raised his hand and slapped the developer's face, cursing loudly. The developer's representative also woke up from Huang Ming's slap. It was very clear that even Huang Ming couldn't afford to offend the young man in front of him. Young Master Yi, I didn't recognize MT Tai. Stop, I don't want to hear so much. Yi Zichen pointed at the card on the ground. Yi Zichen pointed at the card on the ground. This is the card to buy your life. Enjoy it while I'm not looking for you. I'll come and get it. As for you, Yi Zichen pointed at Huang Ming. I'll get even with you, but not now. Young Master Yi, this is really a misunderstanding. Please listen to my explanation. Huang Ming pleaded bitterly. His forehead and back were covered in fine beads of sweat. Young Master Yi, Zichen, you can't really be. Yi Rong was terrified when she heard that Yi Zichen was going to buy the developer's life. Just to scare him, this child. Yi Rong's face was full of rebuke, but she didn't blame him too much. Yi Zichen smiled, then glanced at the developer who was lying on the ground. This kind of person should be scared. You. Yi Rong shook her head helplessly. Yi Zichen chuckled, then held her hand. Mom, This house has been demolished anyway. Come to my place to live. All right. Yi Rong looked at the collapsed house helplessly. It was indeed impossible to continue living here. But the cost of living there is quite high. We haven't signed a contract with the developer yet. What if they don't pay us after we leave? He wouldn't dare to not pay. Don't you think so, young Master Huang? Yi Zichen smiled coldly and glanced at Huang Ming, who was not far away. Feeling that gaze, Huang Ming broke out in a cold sweat and nodded repeatedly. Yes, 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 we will definitely pay. Then thank you, young Master Huang. Young Master Huang, save me. When Yi Zichen and Yi Rong left the crowd, the developer's representative held onto Huang Ming's arm tightly. Huang Ming kicked him away. Save your ass. Lousy can't even protect myself. Huang Ming took out his phone with a trembling hand and said with a dejected expression. Chapter 29. Meeting Xiao Yumei by chance. Yiyun drove a two-seater car, so he couldn't take all three of them back. This guy was even more ruthless. He just made a phone call, and he immediately called for another car. In the car, Yi Rong continuously asked Su Yiyun about the situation at school, while Su Yiyun replied with a laugh. Auntie, Yi Zi is very powerful now. I don't have much money on hand, but I do have a few million. You should be prepared to enjoy your life. Where did so much money come from? Yi Rong was shocked. Zichen, you couldn't have gone down the wrong path, right? How could this be? Yi Zichen and Su Yiyun couldn't help but smile. Buzz, the phone in his pocket rang. It was Xiao Hai. If Yi Zichen had a sliver of a good impression of Xiao Hai before, then it could be said that he had no good impression at all now. It was rejected. Before long, Su Yiyun's phone rang. Yi Zi, I think it's for you. Su Yiyun handed the phone over. Yi Zichen snorted with a smile. I'm not answering. Take it. That kid Huang Ming doesn't do things properly, but Brother Hai is still a good person. For my sake, accept it. Otherwise, I'll be stuck in the middle. Yi Zichen let out a long sigh, then picked up the phone and put it by his ear. Lil Yi, I'm Brother Hai. Yes. Yi Zichen's tone was indescribably cold. Xiao Hai paused for a moment before replying. Huang Ming told me everything. I'm so sorry for scaring Annie. Brother Hai, don't you think it's too late to apologize now? Yi Zichen snickered. Why didn't Huang Ming think about what would happen when he forcefully demolished it with the developer? Fortunately, my mother is lucky. If my mother was really in the house, can you bear the responsibility? Even if we take 10,000 steps back, and the person living inside is not my mother, but another villager, will you still come here to apologize? Lil Yi, Huang Ming was indeed in the wrong. We will compensate him. Compensation? What can you compensate us with? Money? Do you think I need your compensation? You just need to hand over the demolition money to me, and we'll be even. Yi Zichen drew the line clearly. Xiao Hai let out a sigh and smiled. Don't worry. All right, Brother Hai understands. Give the phone to Xiao Yun. I have a few words to say to him. Here. Yi Zichen chucked the phone into Su Yiyun's hands. Su Yiyun sighed softly in his heart, then put the phone beside his ear. Xiao Yun, help me persuade Xiao Yi. I'll try my best. Su Yiyun glanced at Yi Zichen, who was still angry. But I can't guarantee anything. Sorry to trouble you. Yi Zichen hung up, then turned around. Yi Zichen directly raised his hand. Don't be a peacemaker. I'm not that easy to talk to. What do you take me for? Su Yiyun rolled his eyes in annoyance. I know you're in a fit of anger, yet I'm still trying to persuade you. Isn't that asking for trouble? I just want to ask you, where are you going to let Annie live? If she doesn't have a place to live, I have an empty villa. Why don't you let Annie live there for now? No, I'll find a hotel room for my mother later. I'll go and buy a villa in the afternoon. Oh yeah, I forgot that you're a nouveau riche now. You brat. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shake his head with a smile. After settling Yi Rong down, Yi Zichen went straight to the sales center nearby. The moment he entered, the sales lady walked warmly to his side. Sir, do you want to look at a house? To be honest, Yi Zichen was rather confused. It seems like in novels, there should be a scene where he gets cold-shouldered and slapped in the face. However, novels were novels after all. The sales lady was still very professional. I want to see the villa. The sales lady clearly blanked out for a moment. She subconsciously scanned Yi Zichen's body. Although she was shocked, she still led the way with a smile. The mansion district was not the same as the normal high-rise district. After the sales lady brought Yi Zichen to the mansion district, the moment the sales lady brought Yi Zichen to the villa district, Yi Zichen heard a helpless call. Tian Tian, don't run around. Be good and stay by mommy's side. Tian Tian. Yi Zichen looked towards the source of the voice and saw Tian Tian run towards him with a smile and grab his leg. Daddy! Zichen. Xiao Yumei was also stunned. She looked at Yi Zichen, who had picked Tian Tian up, in shock, while a hint of redness flashed across her face. The sales lady on the side was also stunned. She didn't think that this young man was actually Director Zhao's husband. It was fortunate that she didn't offend him just now. Otherwise, she would truly be in trouble. Sir, since you know Director Xiao, then I'll be leaving first. If there's anything you need to know, you can call me at any time. The sales lady tactfully retreated to the side, while Yi Zichen also walked towards Xiao Yumei with Tian Tian in his arms. Maijia, you're here as well. Uh-huh. For some reason, Xiao Yumei's gaze was evasive when she replied. Yi Zichen saw this, but he didn't think too much about it despite his confusion. After a moment of silence, the two of them spoke up at the same time. Xiao Yumei said as the two of them smiled at each other. Xiao Yumei spoke up, say it. Maijia, did you come here to buy a mansion? After asking, Yi Zichen felt like he asked such an idiot. If she didn't come here to buy a mansion, then what else could she have come for? Could she have come to pick up the sales lady? Xiao Yumei couldn't help but smile and nod. I did come to buy a mansion, but I wanted to buy it for you. But it seems like you want to buy a mansion as well? For me? Yi Zichen was stunned. At this moment, Lil Tian Tian, who was in his arms, wanted to get down. Yi Zichen put Lil Tian Tian on the ground, then started to run around the hall. Tian Tian, don't run around. Director Xiao, we will take care of Tiantian's safety. The sales lady smiled kindly. The real estate agent smiled kindly. Yi Zichen asked once again, why did you give me a mansion? I don't know how to repay you since you didn't help me solve the jewelry store's crisis. So I just want to give you a mansion. Even if you don't live in it, it could be used as real estate. Actually, there really isn't a need, slap. Wow. Before Yi Zichen finished, a clear slap sounded out in the hall, followed by Lil Tiantian's cries. Tian Tian. Xiao Yumei panicked and ran towards Tian Tian, while Yi Zichen followed closely behind. There was a clear mark of a palm on Tiantian's face. The sales lady stood on the side helplessly and didn't know what to do. A woman stood in front of her. The woman was dressed seductively and cursed impatiently. Whose kid is running around here? Whose kid is running around here? The adults don't even care and dirted my new dress. How unlucky. Slap. While the woman was still spitting saliva everywhere, Xiao Yumei walked in front of Tian Tian and hugged her. Chapter 30. Strong. This is a new collection from Paris Fashion Week. 130,000. The woman raised her chin, a hint of arrogance in her eyes. 130,000. Okay, I'll pay. Without any hesitation, Xiao Yumei took out a card from her wallet and threw it at the woman's face. There's 200,000 yuan in this card. Keep the change. Is this the attitude of an apology? The woman frowned and screamed. Do you think I'm apologizing to you? Xiao Yumei suddenly smiled. She looked at the woman and said coldly, this is only compensation for the trouble my child caused. We've already compensated you for the dress. Now, I want to calculate the compensation for hitting my child. From the moment Xiao Yumei took out 200,000 without any hesitation, everyone in the hall knew that this wasn't going to end well. As expected, he was going to settle the score with him now. Xiao Tian Tian was still in pain in his arms. Hearing the child's heart-wrenching cries, everyone in the hall felt sympathy for her. Xiao Yumei patted Xiao Tiantian's head with heartache. Tian Tian, don't cry. Mommy will avenge you. Xiao Yumei calmed Tian Tian down and sneered at the woman. Fixed price, 50 million. You've gone crazy thinking about money, the woman screamed. If you don't have 50 million, then I want the hand you used to hit Tian Tian. He couldn't imagine what it felt like for a woman as beautiful as Xiao Yumei to say something like that. Yi Zichen also looked at this scene in shock. In his impression, Maijia wasn't such an impulsive person. However, When he thought of Tiantian's situation, Yi Zichen understood. Tiantian was her reverse scale. She would fight to the death with anyone who dared to touch her. You. Before the woman could speak, Xiao Yumei had already made a call. Brother Tiger, right? Yes, I'm Xiao Yumei. I want to ask you to help me deal with someone. 5 million, I want one of her hands. Yes, I'm at the sales center of Wanqing Real Estate. Send someone to meet me. The woman who hit Tian never expected Xiao Yumei to be serious. She reached out her hand to grab Xiao Yumei's phone, but was stopped by Yi Zichen. Be quiet. When Tian saw Yi Zichen, her cries gradually quieted down. Dad, Tian, be a good girl. Don't cry. Yi Zichen smiled warmly and rubbed Tiantian's cheeks. The voice seemed to have a magical power, and Xiao Tiantan gradually stopped crying. Tian, Xiao Yumei's eyes were filled with worry. The handprint on Tiantian's face was still clearly visible. From this, one could tell how much strength this woman had used when she hit him. You are committing a crime. I want to call the police. What's wrong with crime? Xiao Yumei suddenly sneered. From the moment you slapped Tian, you've already been sentenced to death in my heart. One of your hands is just the interest. Don't doubt me. I have 10,000 ways to make you disappear from this world without a trace. What happened? A loud shout came from outside the villa sales area, and a man walked in with a frown. The man's appearance was very normal, but for some reason, people couldn't help but feel a sense of trust towards him when they saw him. The moment the man appeared, the woman, who had nearly scared Xiao Yumei, quickly ran towards him. Wenji, you finally came. If you came any later, then you might not be able to see me. The woman cried and complained. However, Yi Zichen noticed that Xiao Yumei's face turned pale when the man appeared. How-Wen? Yumei? How-Wen was stunned for a moment, then quickly walked toward Xiao Yumei. Yumei, how have you been these years? Stop pretending here. Xiao Yumei suddenly smiled, then quickly walked toward Xiao Yumei. Xiao Yumei suddenly smiled. Her eyes carried a sense of distance that made it impossible for others to approach her. We aren't that close. Please stay away from me. No matter what, we were once husband and wife. Is there a need to be so extreme? Wow. The people in the hall instantly went into an uproar. They didn't think that the two people in front of them actually had such a relationship. I was blind to have been with you before. At that moment, a group of hulks wearing black vests walked in from outside. The person in the lead was a bald man with a large gold chain and a vest with a tiger print on it. Director Xiao. Gee, you came. Hey, I always come personally for big business deals. Say it. Whose hand do you want? Ji touched his bald head, while a ferocious light appeared in his eyes. Her. Xiao Yumei's expression instantly turned cold as she pointed at the woman beside How-Wen. Grab her, Wenji. The woman kicked her legs and screamed. How-Wen's eyes twitched as he questioned Xiao Yumei. What are you doing? Nothing. She hit Tian, so I'm going to make her pay. Oh yeah, it's fine if you help her pay. 50 million. Director Xiao, it's a bit inappropriate for me, Tiger. You asked for 50 million, yet you gave Tiger 5 million. The bald-headed tiger rubbed his head, while Xiao Yumei chuckled. Xiao Yumei also smiled. Xiao Yumei, am not that kind of stingy person. Xiao Yumei also smiled. It's not certain whether he will give it or not. If he really does, then I'll give Ji double the amount. Director Xiao is generous. Ji raised his thumb toward Xiao Yumei, then indicated towards his subordinates. What are you blanking out for? Hold her down. As long as Director Xiao says it, then chop off this woman's hand. Xiao Yumei, don't bullshit with me. Either give me the money, or I'll take one of her hands. Madness appeared in Xiao Yumei's eyes. When How-Wen saw her gaze, he felt a chill in his heart. He did not doubt the truth of Xiao Yumei's words at all. For Tian, she could really do anything. All right, I'll give. Let Han Jing go. How-Wen took out a check and wrote 50 million on it before handing it to Xiao Yumei. Yi Zichen clearly saw that Xiao Yumei's hand trembled intensely when she saw the check. All right, thank you, Director Hao. Ji, let her go. Let her go. Ji kicked his subordinate and let go of Han Jing. Let's go. When Yi Zichen left the mansion area with Han Jing, Ji also laughed loudly. Director Xiao is truly a big boss. You got 50 million in such a short amount of time. This is much faster and safer than us fighting and killing people. Hu Ji is truly joking. I'll transfer 10 million to your account tonight. Sure, sure. Hu Ji left the real estate center with his subordinates, causing everyone in the real estate center to let out a sigh of relief. It was fortunate that no blood had actually been spilled. Mei Jia, since everyone had left, Yi Zichen walked beside Xiao Yumei. When he got closer, Yi Zichen saw that there were faint tears in Xiao Yumei's eyes. She held the check worth 50 million tightly in her right hand, then rip. She tore the check into pieces and threw it onto the floor. Everyone in the lobby looked at this scene in shock. 50 million. She tore just like that. Other people might not understand Xiao Yumei, but Yi Zichen did. Zichen, can you hug me? Yi Zichen nodded with a smile, then pulled Xiao Yumei into his arms. At the next moment, he burst into tears. Yeah, even if Xiao Yumei was being domineering. What couldn't change was she was a woman. Chapter 31. Furious because of a beauty within Xiao Yumei's home. Yi Zichen and Xiao Yumei sat across from each other on the sofa, while a bottle of 2002 red wine was placed on the coffee table between them. Nearly half of the red wine was drunk, and most of it was drunk by Xiao Yumei. Zichen. Xiao Yumei put down the wine cup, then looked up and called out softly. Mei Jia, I'm here. After drinking a few glasses of red wine, Xiao Yumei's face turned slightly red from being drunk. Her blurred eyes and slightly raised lips caused her, who was already charming, to attract men's gazes even more. Say, do you think that I'm such a failure as a woman? How could that be? Mei Jia already has such a large jewelry business at such a young age. There aren't many people that can compare to you in business. I say, as a woman, Xiao Yumei was a bit drunk, so she stuttered a bit. Yi Zichen didn't dare to reply. If he did, then it would only make Xiao Yumei feel even worse. We met when we were in university. Xiao Yumei leaned back on the sofa, while her blurred eyes carried a faint reminiscence. At that time, he was still a poor kid. At that time, I was quite happy to be with him. I ignored my family's objections and got together with him. The two of us worked hard together and started from nothing together. Although we weren't especially rich, we at least had enough to eat. But I don't know when it started, but he started to like chasing after fame and fortune. He would do anything to achieve his goals. Do you know why we got divorced? Mei Jia, you drank too much. Go rest. Yi Zichen felt like these weren't things that he should know. He stood up from his sofa and wanted to take Xiao Yumei back to their room, but Xiao Yumei's words caused him to stop. The reason why we got a divorce is rather funny. He actually made me pay that boss for a month for a business deal. Xiao Yumei smiled, but tears flowed down uncontrollably. Funny, right? He made his woman sleep with another man for a month for a business deal. Mei Jia, that's not even funnier. What's funnier is that he didn't even touch me. Huh. I got into a huge fight with him over this and got a divorce. I left my family with nothing. After that, I adopted Tian Tian. I thought that without him, my life would return to normal, but he spread rumors around our friends, saying that I was a loose woman and that I was a cuckold. Don't you think it's ridiculous? Sister Mei, you drank too much. Go to sleep. Yi Zichen held Xiao Yumei's shoulders and carried her up. When he sent her to the bed in the bedroom, she continued to repeat, ridiculous, right? In self-mockery. Creak. After leaving the room, Yi Zichen's expression instantly turned terrifyingly dark. He couldn't help but replay Xiao Yumei's helpless eyes in the sales center, as well as her self-deprecating and laughable helplessness. The corners of his mouth rose slightly as he looked at the sleeping Xiao Yumei. Trust me, I will make that man pay. Huang Ming, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. How one, I want this man to lose everything. Xiao family. Dong, dong, dong. That night, Huang Ming wasn't having fun in the nightclub. He hurriedly drove to the Xiao family and banged on the door. Young Master Huang, I want to see Cousin Xiao Hai. Within the mansion's study, Huang Ming arrived in front of Xiao Hai under the guidance of the butler. What did you come to find me for so late at night? Xiao Hai was truly furious when he saw his cousin. At that moment, he was worrying about how to make Yi Zichen calm down. Biaoga, young master, you called me just now. He said that he'll give me a chance to redeem myself. His request. Xiao Hai abruptly stood up from his chair. For a CEO like him who managed a large corporation, there were very few things that could cause him to have such a huge emotional fluctuation. He wants a man called Howen to lose everything. Butler, Xiao Hai called out. Then, the elder that brought Huang Ming over quickly walked in once again. Young Master Xiao, investigate a man called Hao Wan. I want all of his information. Yes. What they didn't know was that Yi Zichen's call caused a huge uproar in Bingqing's business circle. Countless medium to large corporations were affected. All of this was because of a woman. A great rage for a beauty. That was exactly what was happening right now. The mansion that Yi Zichen chose for Yi Rong was in an ecological garden area. It was beside a mountain and a river, giving it the feeling of a paradise. Of course, the price was also incomparably expensive. 10 million. Xiao Yumei paid for it. She said that she was going to give it to Yi Zichen. However, how could Yi Zichen accept it? He wrote an IOU. I owe it to him. Zichen, there's a new batch of ores being auctioned off. Come take a look with older sister and help older sister pick 2 ores, okay? When Xiao Yumei and Lil Tian stood outside the mansion, Yi Zichen nodded with a smile. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile? Of course, but what about that expert Liu? He told me to open it. Xiao Yumei replied calmly. Xiao Yumei replied calmly. She would definitely be a queen in ancient times with such decisive killing methods. It's good that he opened it. That's why I'm saying, older sister doesn't have anyone to look at stones right now. Little brother Zichen, you have to come and help older sister. Xiao Yumei smiled coquettishly. Yi Zichen instantly felt his entire body soften. Magia, don't talk to other men like this in the future. Why? Xiao Yumei smiled despite knowing the answer. Yi Zichen shrugged. You're too powerful. I'm afraid that you'll electrocute those people. I'm going to get jealous. Is that so? Then from now on, big sister will only tell you. The two of them laughed softly. The atmosphere was indescribably good. However, there would always be some blind people who would ruin this atmosphere. You may let me go. A man with dirt all over his face stumbled and crawled to Xiao Yumei's side. His sudden appearance startled Xiao Yumei. She looked over and saw that it was Hao Wen. What do you want me to let go of? Xiao Yumei was at a loss, but Hao Wen grabbed her ankle and said, Yumei, I know I've let you down in the past. I was wrong, I beg you let me go. Let go of me. Xiao Yumei tried to force Hao Wen to let go, but he held onto her thigh tightly and refused to let go. Bang! Yi Zichen kicked him away. What's wrong with this property management? How can they just let anyone in? Security. Several security guards appeared in front of Yi Zichen and company and dragged Hao Wen out. At this moment, Hao Wen also cursed loudly. Xiao Yumei, you slut whore. Buzz, Yi Zichen's phone rang. He picked it up and placed it by his ear. Lil, Yi, your request is for Hao Wen to lose everything. It should be published in the newspapers soon. Hai Ji really acted quickly, but there's no need to wait for the newspapers. Hao Wen already came to find us. Hao Wen actually went to find you guys, Xiao Hai exclaimed. Then you aren't injured, right? No, I appreciate Hai Ji's kindness. I will deal with the old man situation as soon as possible. All right, then Hai Ji will wait for Lil Ye's arrival. Oh yeah, the card I sent someone to give you in the morning is our corporation's VVVIP card. As long as it's a company under our corporation, you can enjoy free treatment with this card. So cool. Yi Zichen took out a golden card from his pocket and played around with it. Thanks. Yi Zichen hung up the phone, then looked towards Xiao Yumei with a bright smile, only to see that her eyes were already red. Chapter 32. Affability level up. Yi Zichen reached out his hand and patted Xiao Yumei's back as he felt the warm body in his arms. Magia, you heard it. Yi Zichen smiled gently. However, he saw Xiao Yumei suddenly raise her head and directly bite his lips. Ding dong. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 50. Current affability level, 145. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 50. Current affability level, 195. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 50. Current affability level, 245. Yi Zichen didn't even know how many affability points popped up. At that moment, He was completely immersed in Xiao Yumei's gentleness. Daddy, Mommy Tian Tian is hungry. Just as the two of them were reluctant to part, Lil Tian Tian pulled on the corner of their clothes. Hearing that, the two of them immediately separated. The two of them looked at each other awkwardly. Xiao Yumei squatted down and picked Tian Tian up. Tian Tian is hungry. Mommy is going to bring Tian Tian to eat. Daddy is coming too. I'm going. Yi Zichen smiled, then placed his finger on his lips. Seeing his actions, Xiao Yumei immediately glared at him. Ding dong. Your affability level with Xiao Yumei increased by 5. Current affability level, 500. Affability level up. Relationship status, lovers. Lovers. Yi Zichen was stunned. The marriage string wouldn't lie. Could they really have become lovers? But all of this happened too quickly. Yi Zichen subconsciously looked toward Xiao Yumei and noticed that Xiao Yumei was also looking at him with infatuation. Meijia. Don't call me Meijia. It makes me sound old. How about you call me Yumei? Xiao Yumei blushed. Actually, she didn't want to get involved with Yi Zichen. She felt like she wasn't worthy of him. However, for some reason, after finding out everything he did for her heart was uncontrollably attracted to him. Thus, she didn't force herself. She'll just let nature take its course. What's more, Tian Tian liked him as well. That was more important than anything else. Even if she knew that she couldn't stand by Yi Zichen's side in the future, she'll just be the person behind him. Yumei. Daddy, Mommy, Tian Tian is hungry. Tian Tian's childish voice carried a hint of displeasure. Yi Zichen and Xiao Yumei immediately rubbed her head. Okay, let's go eat now. The restaurant Yi Zichen chose was one of the restaurants under the Glory Corporation. Actually, he had no other choice. All his money was spent on the mansion, and he still had a lot of debts. Even though he and Xiao Yumei were currently lovers, he couldn't spend a woman's money. Coincidentally, Xiao Hai gave him a VVVIP card. It was free, so he might as well freeload. Sir, madam, how many? Just a family of three. Yi Zichen smiled. When Xiao Yumei heard him say a family of 3, she blushed, while her eyes filled with joy. This way, please. Isn't this our school's rich bro? A discordant voice suddenly sounded out in the restaurant. Yi Zichen rubbed his temples. How unlucky. Why do you have to meet these two people here? Guochang walked in front of Yi Zichen with Yao Yu and smiled towards the waiter. Waiter, our restaurant seems to be a high-end consumer. I know him very well. He can't afford the expenses here at all. Yao Yu, we've already split up. Why do you have to be so persistent with me? Yi Zichen revealed a helpless expression. He just couldn't understand. He didn't do anything wrong to his ex-girlfriend. It was fine if they split up, but why did she always find trouble for him? Who's persistent with you? I just wanted to remind this restaurant so that they wouldn't suffer any losses. Yao Yu laughed coldly without letting it go. Daddy, Tian Tian is hungry. Tian Tian pulled the corner of Yi Zichen's clothes, then picked her up and pinched her cheek. Let's go eat now. Daddy. Yao Yu looked at Yi Zichen and Xiao Yumei as if she discovered a new continent. It can't be. You became a gigolo? Little girl, watch your words. Xiao Yumei couldn't stand it anymore. She was able to guess that Yao Yu should be Yi Zichen's ex-girlfriend, but this ex-girlfriend was too mean. What, you're unhappy? Yao Yu, shut up, Guochang shouted. Guochang roared. If it wasn't for Xiao Yumei's words, he wouldn't have noticed her. Although she was a young married woman with a child, her face and body were all top quality. Especially those alluring eyes. If it was him, Guochang couldn't help but lick his lips. At this moment, he also took out a name card and handed it to Xiao Yumei. Beauty, let's get to know each other. Yao Yu's face stiffened the moment Guochang took out the name card. He was picking up a girl in front of her. However, she didn't dare to say anything. She could only glare at Xiao Yumei fiercely and wanted to scratch her face. Not interested. Xiao Yumei twitched her mouth in disdain, then hooked her arm around Yi Zichen's. Beauty, don't get tricked by this brat. He's just a poor loser, Guochang tried to persuade her. Xiao Yumei didn't even look at Guochang when he tried to persuade her. Zichen, how about we go to another restaurant to eat? Guochang's expression turned a bit ugly. He couldn't understand why Yi Zichen's luck was so good. He thought that Yao Yu was already pretty good. He didn't think that this brat actually found a young married woman that was even more charming than Yao Yu after breaking up with her. Why do we have to change places? Just eat here. If we go somewhere else, you know that I don't have money. I have money, Xiao Yumei smiled. I don't want to spend your money. Yi Zichen rubbed his nose. He took out a card from his pocket and handed it to the waiter. I heard that this card is free. Is that so? Supreme VIP card. There seemed to only be 3 in the entire corporation. He didn't expect to see one here. Sir, this card is our corporation's Supreme VIP card. You can enjoy the same treatment as the CEO. Wait, you're saying that this is a Supreme VIP card? Guichong didn't believe that Yi Zichen could take out such a high-level card, so he intentionally caused trouble. Are you sure that this isn't fake? About this, the waiter was also a bit hesitant. He hesitated for a moment before replying, Sir, it's my first time seeing a Supreme VIP card as well. Can I get our manager to take a look? Then hurry up. Not long later, the restaurant manager quickly walked over. He had no choice but to hurry when he heard that someone had a Supreme VIP card. Which mister has a Supreme VIP card? Here. Yi Zichen handed the card over. Yi Zichen handed the card over. The manager merely glanced at it, then respectfully handed it over. Sir, please. The manager's actions clearly proved the authenticity of the card. Yi Zichen nodded, then pulled Xiao Yumei's hand and walked in with Lil Tian. However, he turned back halfway. You can enjoy the same treatment as the CEO with this card, right? Yes, sir. Oh, then kick these 2 people out. They're affecting my appetite. Chapter 33. Yeah, I was looking for you. Since Xiao Hai helped him so much, Yi Zichen felt like he had to quickly return the favor. When he opened the WeChat chat group, it was actually filled with the legend of him and Erlang Shun's fight back then. Some immortals who didn't know anything would ask about it out of curiosity. It seemed that all immortals were like this. The fire of gossip would never be extinguished. God of Thunder, that celestial sovereign, was like a flash in the pan. Ever since he fought with Erlang Shun, he never appeared again. Immortality Peach Fairy. Yeah, that immortal sovereign is the idol of a few of my sisters. Barefoot Immortal. Someone who dared to fight against Erlang True Lord is definitely this one. 3 thumbs up followed. Immortality Peach Fairy. Agreed. God of Thunder. I agree +1. Wu Gang. I agree +2. Yi Zichen could only helplessly leave the chat group and open the chat with the Monkey King. This fellow had not taken the initiative to look for him for the past few days. This was a little out of character. Yi Zichen thought about it, then sent a greeting message. Great Sage, what are you busy with? No reply. This was too strange. In the past, he would reply within seconds. Ding dong. Yi Zichen's phone suddenly vibrated, causing him to open the chat group out of reflex. Sure enough, there was a red packet lying on it, and the person who sent it was old Lord Taishang. Snatch. He was too slow, and the red packets were all snatched. He slapped his thigh. Old Lord Taishang's red packet was exactly what Yi Zichen needed. F***CK, I haven't gotten it yet. He glanced at the other people's luck. Damn, it was a great recovery pill. Ding dong. Another red packet was sent out. I poke. Sorry, all the red packets have been snatched. Soon, there was another red envelope. I'll snatch. You have received old Lord Taishang's red packet. Great recover pill, X3. I got it. Yi Zichen's body trembled. I finally got it. However, he was also a little curious. Why did old Lord Taishang suddenly start giving out red packets, and so many of them at that? More importantly, the group was eerily quiet. No one was talking. Yi Zichen scrolled up the chat history. Old Lord Taishang, stop, it's time to pay. Payroll. For some reason, Yi Zichen recalled what the great sage had said. The great recovery pills that old Lord Taishang refined were all for the heavenly soldiers to eat. So that's what happened. If that was the case, wouldn't there still be hair? As expected, old Lord Taishang sent another dozen or so red packets. Yi Zichen fought with all his might, but he didn't manage to get any. Zichen, why are you playing with your phone? Xiao Yumei sat over, while Yi Zichen waved his phone in front of her, snatching red packets. Pooh! Xiao Yumei couldn't help but laugh. Just how poor are you? If you really don't have money, I can give you some. With that, she took the card out. Yi Zichen quickly pushed it back in. What? Are you trying to support me? Don't forget, all your money was earned by that stone of mine. Yeah, our Zichen is amazing. Xiao Yumei smiled. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen was a bit stunned, and his hands uncontrollably reached into his clothes. Stop messing around, Tian Tian is still here. Xiao Yumei slapped his hand away. Yi Zichen scratched his head and smiled apologetically. However, Xiao Yumei whispered into his ear, "Come to my place tonight." Boom! The power of desolation within his body surged out. Yi Zichen gulped as he looked at Xiao Yumei's teasing gaze. Daddy, Mommy, Tian Tian is full. I don't know why this lil Tian Tian always appears at times like this. I'm full. Mommy will take Tian Tian to wash her hands. Xiao Yumei even gave Yi Zichen a flirtatious smile before going over to Tian Tian's place. This vixen. When Yi Zichen left the restaurant, the manager and waiters all stood in a row and respectfully sent Yi Zichen off. Even Yi Zichen couldn't handle it. On the other hand, Xiao Yumei was completely calm. It was clear that she was already used to this sort of situation. Are you going to my place? Xiao Yumei smiled towards Yi Zichen, while her alluring eyes carried a hint of anticipation. What do you think? Yi Zichen wrapped his arms around her waist without any hesitation. F***CK. If I don't go after seducing me like that, am I still a man? But damn it, the dorm's boss, Kong Pong, called him. Hey, what's up? If not, then I'm hanging up. F***CK. Calling him right now. Isn't this wasting my time? Yeezy, hurry up and come back. If you don't, then I'm screwed. Kong Pong was crying on the phone. He looked like he had been beaten. Yi Zichen glanced at Xiao Yumei's face, then heard Kong Peng's bitter voice. I'm there. I'll be right there. Second floor of Open Net Cafe. Hurry up and come. Okay. Yi Zichen chucked his phone into his pocket and wanted to explain to Xiao Yumei, but she spoke first. Is there something urgent? A bro in the dorm seems to have gotten into some trouble. I'm going over to take a look. Yi Zichen scratched his head, then swiped his finger across Xiao Yumei's cheek. Next time? Can I go to your place next time? Go do what you have to do. I'm yours. You can come any time. Xiao Yumei smiled warmly, then kissed Yi Zichen's lips softly, then got into the car. Yi Zichen touched his lips, which still had a lingering fragrance, and let out a long sigh. Of all times, you just had to come at this time. Yi Zichen quickly arrived at the second floor of Open Net Cafe. At that moment, most of the people there were university students nearby. Everyone sat in their seats and played games, and didn't seem like they were fighting at all. Yi Zichen looked around the second floor, then saw Kong Pong sitting at the second machine by the window and playing in a frenzy. Slap! Yi Zichen slapped Kong Peng's earphones off. That grandson! Yeezy, you're back. Kong Pong scratched his head and smiled idiotically. Yi Zichen was about to explode from anger. When he heard Kong Pong cry over the phone, he thought that Kong Pong got beaten up. F***CK. Tricking me? It's fine if I tricked him normally, but just now. Yi Zichen clenched his teeth and clenched his fist, causing the veins on his forehead to bulge. You better give me a satisfactory explanation, otherwise, creak. Clenching his fist tightly, Kong Pong swallowed his saliva and said, It wasn't me looking for you, it was someone else. Who? Tell me who's looking for me. Yi Zichen glared, then grabbed Kong Peng's collar. Do you F***king know how much of Lousy's business you delayed? I gave up so many important things to come back. Yeezy, don't be impulsive, calm down. Kong Pong signaled Yi Zichen to not get angry, then pointed at an empty machine beside him. She's looking for you. Oh, me? A clear giggle sounded out from behind Yi Zichen. He turned around and saw Xia Kiki standing behind him with a smile. Chapter 34. Offline solo tournament. Yi Zichen felt extremely annoyed as he looked at Xia Kiki, who was smiling sweetly behind him. He hadn't even settled the score with her for messing things up between him and Su Yan. Now, she had taken the initiative to deliver herself to his doorstep. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at Xia Kiki, then sat down on the chair and played with his phone. Kong Pong. Here, Kong Pong, who was 9 meters tall, scared Xia Kiki like a mouse that saw a cat. He directly chucked the mouse to the side and bumped Yi Zichen with his elbow. Yezi, How can you speak to Goddess Xiao like that? Don't bother me. I don't like the look of you now. He pointed his finger at Kong Peng's nose. This brat actually had the face to persuade him. Damn it, he ruined everything. If it wasn't for their friendship as roommates for 2 years, he really wanted to slap him so hard that he wouldn't even be able to pull him off the wall. Easy, Big Brother was forced into a corner. Kong Peng sneaked a peek at Xia Kiki, who was behind him with her hands on her waist. Do you still remember the old friend you beat up the other day? What's wrong with that grandson? Who are you calling a grandson? Xia Kiki instantly exploded. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at her in annoyance and scolded. Girl, how did you learn to pick up insults after not seeing each other for a few days? Very quickly, when Yi Zichen noticed Kong Peng's expression, his eyes immediately widened. Old friend, it's you? You're right. The grandson you mentioned just now is me. But didn't you say that you were a transcendent master? Booster, do you understand? Xia Kiki was so angry that she nearly bit Yi Zichen into pieces. Xia Kiki had been holding a grudge ever since she was beaten up that day. She thought to herself that when she had the chance to find this person, she would definitely solo him offline. Coincidentally, the school had a power outage at night. She still had a few orders to play, so she thought of coming to the internet cafe to play. However, she happened to see the ID that she hated so much. Xia Kiki's head heated up. She grabbed Kong Peng's ear and was about to confront him for an offline solo. After 5 rounds, every round exploded. Only later did she find out that Yi Zichen was the one leading the fight that day. Only then did she tell Kong Peng to call Yi Zichen back in order to redeem herself. Substitute leveling? Yi Zichen's face was filled with disbelief. Xia Kiki didn't lack money at all, so why would she help him level up? Earn my own living? Was there something wrong with him? Yi Zichen wasn't a rich second generation. If he was, then he would be more of a spoiled brat than anyone else. Don't look at me like that. I just like to play this game. If I can earn money playing games, why wouldn't I do it? Xia Kiki's reply caused Yi Zichen to roll his eyes and look at the 2 empty machines on the side. It seemed like Xia Kiki was determined to solo him. Are you sure you want to fight me? Of course. Then let's wait for a while. Yi Zichen went up to the front desk and swiped his ID, then turned on the computer. He logged into the game. Welcome to the number 160 Glorious Golden 3. Welcome, Master Transcendent, number 159, to our online cafe. Transcendent Master. The people in the internet cafe all stood up when they heard the news and gathered around their seats. Sister, beautiful sister. Holy shit, isn't this the Polytechnic University's beauty, Xia Kiki? The goddess is actually a transcendent master. Zone 1, oh my god. Yi Zichen indicated towards Xia Kiki with a look of helplessness. There are a bunch of your fanatical fans behind you. Do you want me to leave you some face? If you want to solo, then solo properly. I don't need you to go easy on me. What's more, it's not certain who will win yet. The moment Xia Kiki finished, Yi Zichen received her friend request. Not long later, he received a game invite. Offline solo. This bro is a transcendent as well. Wait, I think it was Golden 3, just now, I forgot. Yi Zichen and Xia Kiki very tacitly ignored the crowd behind them. Best of 5, 1 blood, 1 tower, 100 attacks. Understood. Yi Zichen made an okay gesture. The game began. Both sides used tribulation for the first round. It was also Yi Zichen's first time robbing this hero. There was no helping it. He had always played support before. Before the game started, he was still looking up guides on Baidu. F***CK. Is this brat good or not? Is he looking at guides? Yi Zichen glanced at Xia Kiki. This girl was truly a fanatical fan of the Alliance. She forgot everything once she started playing. Yi Zichen admired that level of focus. But what was the use of admiration? First blood. Ugh. What just happened? The goddess lost? It can't be. The golden destroyed a transcendent. Could it be that our goddess is also hugging someone's leg? Next round, Yi Zichen walked around Xia Kiki's game character's corpse twice. Xia Kiki's face was completely green as she stared straight at the screen. How did she die? The damage calculation wasn't wrong. Next round, he chose the hero Yao Ji. First blood. The crowd was completely speechless. Yi Zichen once again used overdrive to walk around Xia Keek's character's corpse twice. Next round. Next round. Third round, blind monk. Yi Zichen was very clear that if he played properly, there was no doubt that Xia Kiki would still lose. It wasn't that she wasn't at the level of a transcendent master. It was just that Yi Zichen was too good. Not to mention a transcendent master. Even if a challenger with 1,000 points came, he would still beat her up. Yi Zichen looked towards Xia Kiki. At that moment, the little loli's face was no longer as calm as before. She pursed her lips tightly, while her entire body tensed up. Even if Yi Zichen randomly threw a Q, Xia Kiki would click her mouse like crazy. Yi Zichen smiled, but still chose to fight her head-on. First blood. This time, Xia Kiki won. I messed up. This hand. Yi Zichen pretended to slap the back of his hand in annoyance. Seeing that, the crowd let out a sigh of relief. That's more like it. How could a gold beat a transcendent master? Xia Kiki pursed her lips slightly. She copied Yi Zichen's actions from the previous 2 sentences and controlled her character to walk around his character's corpse. Next round. Even her tone was the same. Next round. Yi Zichen smiled when he saw that Xia Kiki had regained her focus. Not long later, Yi Zichen lost again. Yi Zichen still lost the 5th round. Best of 5. Xia Kiki won. Amazing, Kiki, your technique isn't bad. Alright, you won the offline solo. Yi Zichen leaned back, stretched lazily, then logged out of League of Legends. I'm so tired. I'm going back to sleep. Yi Zichen twisted his neck and walked out. Xia Kiki bit her lips, then chased after him after a moment of hesitation. Chapter 35. Team Invitation. Hey. Xia Kiki chased after him the moment he walked out of the internet cafe. Why did you come out as well? Yi Zichen smiled. Xia Kiki ran beside him with a frown. Why did you go easy on me? No, I'm a very competitive person. How could I go easy on you? Alright, it's getting late. Go back and rest. It's not good for girl skin to play games so late every day. Yi Zichen waved his hand with his back facing Xia Kiki, then crossed the road. I'll beat you sooner or later. Ding dong. Marriage string received. Holder. Yi Zichen. Possessed. Xia Kiki. Current affability level. 10. Ugh. Yi Zichen, who walked to the other side of the road, nearly coughed up blood. The reason he was in such a hurry to leave was because he was afraid something like this would happen. However, what was going to happen still happened. The next day, since Yi Zichen had the great recovery pill, he directly sent it to Xiao Hai since he wasn't one to procrastinate. Lil Yi, thank you so much. Xiao Hai's arms trembled slightly as he held the jade bottle in his hands. Yi Zichen might not know what this pill meant. However, Xiao Hai did. Although the Xiao family was still one of the top families in Bingsheng, he had only taken over the family business not long ago due to the old man's illness and his father not being good at business. The company was already on the downside. For the sake of this pill, he went all out and helped Yi Zichen make Haowen lose everything. Who knew how many families he offended? However, all of this was for this pill. As long as the old man could stand up again, then the Xiao family would not fall. Haiji helped me out a lot. Of course I have to give this pill to Haiji. No need to be so polite. Yi Zichen shrugged. Oh yeah, how's Haowen? If nothing unexpected happens, he should be spending the rest of his life in prison. He deserves it. Yi Zichen snorted coldly. Thinking about how he already did what he needed to do, he waved goodbye toward Xiao Hai. Haiji, I should go. Wait a moment. I still have a present for you. With that, a silver-white Porsche and 918 drove over. When Yi Zichen saw the car, there was only one in front of him. To be honest, he didn't know much about cars, but he had seen this kind of limited edition supercar on Baidu. It was said that this car was limited to 918 units, and it was even harder to find in the country. For you. Xiao Hai noticed Yi Zichen's expression and pointed at the 918 with a smile. Give me a gift? Yi Zichen gulped when he saw Xiao Hai's confident gaze. If it was any other gift, Yi Zichen might have declined. But this car? Thank you, Brother Hai. Yi Zichen truly couldn't resist the temptation of the car, so he licked his lips and moved towards the car. Buzz, Yi Zichen, who had just gotten his beloved car, was trying it out. However, The urgent call forced him to stop the car. Hey, Yi Zichin, I'm Xia Kiki. Come to the cold drinks store beside the school. What? I'm looking for you. You dare not come? Yi Zichin didn't really want to get involved in too many relationships. After he confirmed his relationship with Xiao Yumei, he didn't have so many playful thoughts. Deep down, he was actually quite conservative. Only monogamy could build a harmonious home. Hey, are you listening to me? Xia Kiki, who was on the other side of the phone, panicked. I'll be right there. Yi Zichin chucked his phone to the side, then rolled down the window and waved toward Xiao Hai. Brother Hai, I'm leaving. 10 minutes later, in a cold drink shop next to the school. This was a place where most of the university students gathered. Yi Zichin drove the Porsche 918 and found a place to stop, then prepared to walk towards the cold drink store. However, it had underestimated the attention of this sports car. As soon as the sports car appeared, all the students in the shop rushed out and stared at it. When they saw Yi Zichin get out of the car, the eyes of many female students sparkled. Quite a few sharp-eyed people recognized Yi Zichin and couldn't help but exclaim, Tyrant bro, he's Tyrant bro. Which rich bro? You don't even know Tycoon bro? He's the one who's been trending on the school website recently. Wow, Porsche 918. This Tycoon bro is truly a tycoon. I'm gonna leave the group and join Tycoon bro's fan club. Yi Zichin rubbed his forehead when he heard the conversation of the surrounding students. It seemed like there was going to be another wave of discussion on the school website. When Yi Zichin entered the cold drink store, plenty of female students followed him in. Perhaps this was the celebrity effect. There would always be some fans no matter where he went. Here, Yi Zichin saw Xia Kiki wave towards him from the window of the cold drink store. However, she wasn't alone. There was a woman wearing a cap beside her. Looking for me? Yi Zichin sat on the chair. When Xia Kiki heard his slightly perfunctory tone, a hint of bitterness appeared in her eyes. What? Are you very unhappy that I'm looking for you? No. Yi Zichin quickly waved his hand. Xia Kiki rolled her eyes at him, then pointed at the woman beside her. Actually, I wasn't looking for you, she was. Who are you? Hello, I'm Only Me platform streamer, Jingwan. The woman took off her cap and reached out her hand towards Yi Zichin. Yi Zichin paused for a moment when he saw the woman. Oh wow, she's pretty. If she was in Polytechnic University, she would be one of the top school beauties. As I thought, all streamers are pretty. Yi Zichin subconsciously used the fiery eyes of truth to take a look. Completely natural. Yi Zichin shook her hand simply. He couldn't help but notice that the girl's fingers were very long. They would definitely be good at playing the piano. What's more, her hands were very soft, giving people a feeling of being boneless. I was there when you and Kiki played offline yesterday. Oh, Yi Zichin replied indifferently, then called the waiter over and ordered a glass of lemon juice. Yi Zichin's nonchalant tone caused Jingwan to be stunned. She was a huge streamer with over 1 million fans on the Only Me streaming platform, but she had never been treated so coldly before. Yi Zichin, talk to Jingwan properly. She's very famous on the Only Me streaming platform, and she's very good at games. Xia Kiki couldn't stand it anymore, so she warned him. Yi Zichin raised his hand and nodded helplessly. All right. Then, Jingwan, may I ask what exactly do you want from me? Yi Zichin, never mind. Jingwan stopped Xia Kiki with a smile. It must be said, this girl's smile was rather charming. I want to start a team. Jingwan suddenly stood up from the chair, then reached out her white hand towards Yi Zichin with her head lowered. Chapter 36. Elimination Dog, Lil White Team Invitation. Yi Zichin took a sip of the lemon juice, but did not shake hands with Jingwan. Miss Jingwan, don't be so anxious. We haven't talked about anything. Isn't it a bit bad for you to invite me to join your team? What do you need? What can you give me? Yi Zichin pursed his lips and smiled. 100,000 monthly salary. Jingwan clenched her fist. Yi Zichin raised his eyebrows and shrugged in disdain. 100,000 monthly salary was indeed a huge sum for university students who haven't even graduated yet. Even the seniors who had graduated from school would try their best to get a salary of 100,000 a month. However, Yi Zichin reached out and pointed at the Porsche 918 outside. Miss Jingwan, do you think I lack money? Jingwan's heart turned cold when she saw the sports car. A person who could drive that kind of car really wouldn't compromise for 100,000 monthly salary. On the other hand, Xia Kiki, who was on the side, looked at the sports car outside the window. Rish bro, that's your car? Yeah. Rish bro. Jingwan's expression darkened once again. If she knew that he was Rish bro, then she wouldn't have used the monthly salary to move him. With your skills, you can definitely shine and get chased by tens of thousands of fans. Jingwan once again used the aspect of fame. She felt that Yi Zichen would hesitate due to that. However, clap, clap, clap. Yi Zichen suddenly clapped his hands and said, "Does anyone in this cold drinks store recognize me? Rish bro, I'm your fan. Rish bro, do you have time tonight? I want to treat you to dinner." Rish bro. At this moment, Yi Zichen also shrugged towards Jingwan with a smile. "Do you think I lack fame?" Jingwan's pretty face froze. It seemed like she could only bring out these two conditions to negotiate with. However, the other party killed them all. Xia Kiki noticed Jingwan's terrible expression, so she wanted Yi Zichen to consider it a bit more. However, Yi Zichen raised his head and shook his head with a smile. "Actually, I can feel from these few words that Miss Jingwan's team was merely formed on a whim. I was thinking about it very seriously." Jingwan retorted. Yi Zichen shrugged non-committally, then rapped the table with a smile. "Then let me put it this way. Setting up a team requires a lot of money. Do you have it? I've accumulated quite a bit of savings from my live streaming over the past few years. How much?" "About 10 million. Yi Zichen snickered. "Little 10 million. Don't you think it's very childish of you to want to form a team? Don't tell me you haven't investigated the teams in the tournament. Which one of them doesn't have a strong financial chain? Your little bit of money isn't even enough to poach a few good players. In the early stages of establishing a team, the capital chain is the largest. You need to pay the players' salaries, you need to choose a suitable base for the players, and you need members. Let's put it this way. Let's not talk about whether or not you've found substitutes. Have you found any of your 5 members?" Jingwan's voice faltered. She really hadn't thought about this, but she didn't want to admit defeat, so she retorted with all her might, "I'll try my best to gather the team members, and I'll also find people to invest in the funds." "That means that everything you've said is just an empty shell. What team are you talking about?" Yi Zichen quickly finished the lemon juice in his cup, then stood up and waved towards Jingwan and Xia Kiki. "Sorry, I can't accept your invitation." Yi Zichen truly didn't want to participate in this sort of activity. If he really joined a team, then his life would be completely tied to the base. He could shine anywhere with the deity's WeChat group, so he didn't have to choose a path that was relatively more of a failure. What's more, what he said just now was for Jingwan's own good. It was good to be hot-blooded, but establishing a team purely based on hot-bloodedness. It was very possible that he would lose everything. Yi Zichen didn't want a girl to waste all of her hard-earned money here. Perhaps thinking about money all the time would seem a bit vulgar. However, Yi Zichen was a vulgar person. Jingwan and Xia Kiki, who were in the cold drink store, watched Yi Zichen's car disappear from their sight in shock. A hint of sadness surfaced on Jingwan's delicate face, while Xia Kiki comforted her softly. "Jingwan, don't mind Yi Zichen's words too much. He's actually a pretty nice person normally. I don't know what kind of medicine he suddenly ate today." Jingwan smiled faintly, while the haze in her heart disappeared. Yi Zichen's merciless criticism still lingered in her ears, but she didn't mind. He's speaking the truth. Perhaps I was too impulsive. I need to go back and think about it properly. But if Jingwan, you still need teammates, then you can find me anytime. Thank you. Jingwan left the coffee shop after putting on her cap. Jingwan clenched her fist tightly as she stood on the side of the road and looked at the place Yi Zichen just left. "Sooner or later, I will make you agree." Yi Zichen drove back to the mansion. Yi Rong was standing in the courtyard in a daze. It was a good thing that her child was successful, but she didn't know why she felt uneasy. "Mom, why are you standing here?" Yi Rong raised her head. When she saw the sports car behind Yi Zichen, the worry on her face became even more obvious. "Son, what exactly are you doing? Mom doesn't feel confident." "Mom, don't you know what I'm like? I definitely won't touch those dirty things." Yi Zichen grabbed Yi Rong's shoulder and walked to the pavilion in the courtyard. Are you used to living here? The environment here is pretty good. It's just that I'm not used to it. What do you mean? I feel empty in my heart. Before, I could still chat with your Annie and the others in the village, but now, Yi Rong stopped speaking, while Yi Zichen also felt sad. As a son, he did let his mother live a good life, but he didn't have too much time to accompany her. For some reason, Yi Zichen thought about the dog he got from the howling celestial dog. Mom, wait a moment, I have a present for you. Yi Zichen ran to the car and opened the WeChat treasure chest. Eliminated dog from the celestial poodle trials. Withdraw. A white, furry poodle appeared in Yi Zichen's arms. The moment the poodle appeared, it subconsciously looked around. When it saw Yi Zichen, it actually revealed a human-like expression of disdain. Little fellow, you're going to follow me from now on. Disdain, it was still disdain. This little thing of yours is rather interesting. Yi Zichen wanted to stroke the poodle's fur, but the poodle raised its head and bared its teeth at him, revealing a fierce expression. Dogs like poodles were extremely cute, even when they pretended to be fierce. Chapter 37. So who's hotter? After interacting with Lil White for roughly 10 minutes, Yi Zichen finally understood why this guy was eliminated. To Tsundere, this little fellow didn't give its master any face at all. Obviously, in its world, it was the supreme king. It's fine if you're like this with me, but when you see my mom later, you must be obedient and cute. Disdain, if you're obedient, I'll bring you delicious food next time. It's much better than the food in the heavenly court. Xiao Bai's eyes lit up, and a suspicious look appeared on her face. I swear. Yi Zichen raised 3 fingers. Lil White examined Yi Zichen meaningfully, then actually nodded like a human and reached out his paw to high-five him. Before getting out of the car, Little White looked at him cautiously. It seemed to be saying, remember the delicious food. It seemed like Xiao Bai was a foodie. Damn, that's my mother. Yi Zichen put Lil White on the ground and indicated towards Yi Rong. Little White wagged its tail to indicate that it understood, then proudly trotted toward Yi Rong. Zichen, what's its name? When Yi Zichen walked over, Lil White had already gotten along with Yi Rong. More importantly, Lil White actually winked at Yi Zichen. When he saw Yi Rong smile, Yi Zichen smiled back. Little White, it's so smart. Yi Rong clapped her hands, and Little White leaped into her arms. It rubbed its head against her neck and acted like a spoiled child. Yi Zichen looked at everything in front of him with a smile. At that moment, the phone in his pocket rang. When Yi Zichen picked up the call, the corner of his mouth curled up. Mom, I still have something to do, so I'll leave first. Where are you going? You're not going to eat dinner? Although Yi Rong was very happy playing with Lil White, Yi Zichen was still the most important person in her heart. I'm not eating anymore. I'm in a hurry. Without saying anything, Yi Zichen sped all the way to Golden Spring Hotel. Room 415. When Yi Zichen pushed open the door, he saw Little Yellow, a huge fan of Dragon Ball, staring blankly out the window. Hey, you're here. Yellow Hair suddenly stood up. Yi Zichen signaled him not to do so, then sat down on a chair in the room and raised his eyebrows. Is Fu Chengming in the opposite room? Yes, it seems like someone invited him to dinner. He's almost finished drinking inside. Is everyone here? Don't worry about that. My subordinates are already scattered around the hotel. As long as he's alone, hey, sure. A naughty smile surfaced on Yi Zichen's face. Last time, this brat schemed against him behind his back. This time, he would also play dirty with him. Let's see who is more cunning. Brother Fu, there's an activity tonight. Old Six opened a big room at the nightclub and found 7 or 8 girls. You're not going? At the entrance of the Golden Spring Hotel, 5 young men, who were all drunk, stood together with their arms around each other's shoulders. The one in the middle was Fu Qingming. I'm not going. My kidneys have been deficient lately. Fu Qingming was so drunk that he couldn't even straighten his tongue. A few youths next to him wanted to ask him to stay, but Fu Qingming rejected them all. Yi Zichen and company stood on the side of the street in a daze as they tried to call a taxi home. Yi Zichen, who had been hiding nearby for a long time, smiled. Go! All of a sudden, several young men with dyed hair appeared behind Fu Qingming. Fu Chengming was covered with a gunny sack and smacked on the back of his head. Strip, strip, strip. Yi Zichen stood in the forest with his hands on his waist. Yellow-hair subordinates surrounded Fu Qingming and continuously took off his clothes. Not long later, only a pair of red underwear remained on Fu Qingming's body. Yi Zichen felt his stomach turn when he saw this pair of red underwear. A man wearing red underwear, and triangles at that. Just how sick was this be asterisk starred? Big bro, strip naked. What are you blanking out for if you strip naked for? Throw him onto the bench in the garden beside Polytechnic University. Let him enjoy the feeling of being the center of attention the next day. All right. Yellow hair and company chucked Fu Qingming into the van and drove away. Yi Zichen scratched his head, then walked towards the parking lot of the Golden Spring Hotel. Let go of me. Just as Yi Zichen was about to drive away, a weak voice sounded out beside his ear. Let go of me. Pervert. Yi Zichen shook his head. It's better to not mind other people's business. Save me. Yi Zichen, who was about to open the car door, finally retracted his hand. All right, he really couldn't do something like not saving someone. The parking lot was very large, and there were a lot of cars. Judging from the girl's voice, she should have been raped in the car. Fiery eyes of truth, activate. Yi Zichen stood on the spot and looked at the surrounding cars. Not long later, he found the girl in a business car not far away. Bang, bang, bang. Yi Zichen knocked on the car window. The glass of the business car wasn't transparent, so outsiders couldn't see inside from the outside. That was why the other party would choose to commit the crime in this car. The moment Yi Zichen knocked on the window, the car fell into a deathly silence. However, the car started to shake intensely. The person inside come out. Save. Stubborn resistance. Yi Zichen nodded slightly. I'll give you 3 seconds to consider. Are you going to come out yourself? Or do I have to smash your car? 3, 1. You're not coming out, right? Fine. Yi Zichen looked around and saw that there was no one else around. Then he swung his arms and punched the car window. Bang. The car window immediately cracked. Then he punched again. Crack. This time, all of the car windows shattered. Through the car window, Yi Zichen saw a girl with a terrifying birthmark on her face lying under a middle-aged man. The girl was wearing the clothes of a hotel attendant, so she should be an attendant of the Golden Spring Hotel. More importantly, Yi Zichen knew this girl. Li Jiai. Yi Zichen. Li Jiai's eyes revealed a hint of surprise when she saw Yi Zichen, but her reply was rather weak. Only then did Yi Zichen notice that her face was a sickly red. F*CKU. Yi Zichen kicked open the car door and directly dragged the fatty out of the car. F*CK off. The fatty didn't even dare to fart after shattering the tempered glass in 2 rounds. He didn't even take the car and ran outside. Yi Zichen also picked Li Jiai up. At that moment, her entire skin was suffused with a faint pink color, making her seem like a ball of fire. F*CK. This fatty is too much of an animal. Yi Zichen cursed angrily. Li Jiai was his classmate in high school. There was an extremely eye-catching birthmark on the right side of her face. To be honest, if one only looked at the side of her face, she was definitely a beauty. However, the birthmark affected her overall beauty. Yi Zichen, I'm so hot. Li Jiai wrapped her arms around Yi Zichen's neck and stuck close to him. Chapter 38. You want to leave after eating? Within room 1305 of the Golden Spring Hotel, Yi Zichen felt a bit helpless as he looked at Li Jiai, who laid on the bed like a clay figurine. This was the first time he had encountered this sort of situation. Yi Zichen, stop calling me. Yi Zichen was a bit annoyed. This girl really didn't know just how alluring she was, right? Yi Zichen filled the bathtub with cold water, then carried Li Jiai and threw her in. You need to calm down. After throwing her into the bathtub, Yi Zichen walked out of the bathroom and called Bai Yu. Yi, why did you call so late at night? Well, too. What should I do if the girl was drugged? Bai Yu studied clinical medicine. Although Yi Zichen wasn't sure if Bai Yu knew a way to solve the problem, he could only try it. Simple, Bai Yu blabbered on, then came to a conclusion. She'll be fine after having sex. Hearing that, Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. He knew of this method as well. Is there any other? Bai Yu hesitated for a moment. Yes. Yi Zichen's heart started to beat rapidly when he hung up the call. Bai did give him a solution. It was just that it was a bit F***CK. What's the point of thinking so much? There aren't any other good ideas right now. When Yi Zichen entered the bathroom, Li Jia was already soaked in the water like a pile of mud. When Yi Zichen carried her out of the bathtub, she stuck tightly to him like a magnet that found its way to the north and south poles. Zichen, Li Jia, don't blame me. All of this is for your own good. With that, Yi Zichen threw her onto the bed and took off her pants. The next day, when the first ray of sunlight shone through the floor-to-ceiling windows, Li Jia rubbed her hair and sat up on the bed. She blushed when she saw Yi Zichen, who was sleeping soundly beside her. Yi Zichen. In order to deal with Li Jia, Yi Zichen had spent half the night. Yi Zichen opened his eyes in a daze when he felt someone push him and saw Li Jia looking down at him with eyes filled with love. Yi woke up. Yi Zichen stuttered, but before long, he noticed something. Li Jia's cheeks were as smooth as suet jade, and the birthmark on her left cheek had disappeared. Your face, Li Jia exclaimed, and raised her hand to touch the left side of her face. She frantically searched the bed, only to see Yi Zichen reach his hand over. Are you looking for this? Yi Zichen was truly shocked. He had seen the birthmark on Li Jia's face when he first saw her in high school. At that time, he felt sorry for the girl. If it wasn't for the birthmark, she might have been a dazzling girl. But only now did he realize that the birthmark was fake. This girl had actually lied to everyone in their school for 3 whole years. Give it back. Li Jia snatched the birthmark back and stuck it on her face. Yi Zichen sighed helplessly when he saw her actions. I saw everything. You don't have to pretend in front of me, right? You're not allowed to tell anyone. Who am I supposed to tell? I don't really contact those people in high school anymore. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. I just don't understand. Don't girls all love to be beautiful? How many people went through plastic surgery to make themselves beautiful? You, on the other hand, purposely made yourself ugly. What good does that do for you? None of your business. Li Jia bit her lips and wanted to get up from the bed. However, the heart-wrenching pain and the smear of red on the bed caused her to frown. But when she thought about the situation last night, it seemed like she was the one who took the initiative. Forget about what happened last night. Just pretend like nothing happened. I don't need you to take responsibility. All right. Yi Zichen nodded without even thinking. The situation last night was indeed rather hard to talk about. Girls were rather thin-skinned, so if she didn't point it out, then there was no need for him to say anything. Yi Zichen's lack of hesitation touched Li Jia's heart. She had the highest impression of Yi Zichen in high school. Otherwise, she wouldn't have said something like that when she saw Yi Zichen after what happened yesterday. However, she didn't think that he was actually this sort of person, wanting to leave right after eating. She could only blame herself for choosing the wrong person. Li Jia glared fiercely at Yi Zichen, then limped out. Yi Zichen jumped down and wanted to send her away, but she pushed him away. Put away your hypocrisy. Yi Zichen stood at the entrance of the room in confusion as she ran away from the hotel room in tears. What happened? I didn't do anything. Yi Zichen scratched his head when he thought about how Li Jia's period seemed to have come last night. Were all women's periods so weird? After checking out, Yi Zichen drove back to the dorm. The moment he entered the room, he bumped into Bai Yu, who was about to leave with a basin. Yi Zi, OL2. Yi Zichen patted his shoulders and prepared to walk towards the room. He didn't sleep well at the hotel, so he had to make up for it. Don't go, don't go. Bai Yu suddenly grabbed him and smiled ambiguously. You had a great time last night, right? Great my ass. Lousy is about to die from exhaustion. Yi Zichen pushed him and walked towards the dorm. F***CK. You really F***King did as I said? Bai Yu exclaimed as if he had discovered a new continent. Do you think I'm the sort of person who takes advantage of others? If it wasn't because I've been single for 20-something years and trained my Qilin arm to perfection, I would have definitely melted my muscles yesterday. But I'm telling you, that fatty is truly a grandson. I don't know what kind of drug he gave Li Jia. Yi Zichen rubbed his sore right arm. Bai Yu grabbed his shoulder and said, Who did you say just now? Who did you just say, Li Jia? Yeah, our high school classmate, Li Jia. No wonder. You acted like he understood. Don't pretend to be pure in front of bro. If it was Li Jiai, I wouldn't dare to touch her either. All right, bro's going to wash up. You rest well. You waved the towel on his shoulder and walked out. Yi Zichen, who stood at the entrance of the dorm, smiled helplessly. It seemed like his high school classmates' impression of Li Jiai was still the birthmark. However, if they found out that Li Jiai's birthmark was fake one day, I wonder how they would react. When he thought back to the scene of the hotel, Li Jiai, who took off her birthmark, was even prettier than Su Yan. He just couldn't understand why such a beautiful girl had to pretend to be ugly. Yi Zichen returned to the dorm and prepared to sleep, but the moment he laid down. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Chapter 39. Dragon Slayer has joined the group. Tai Bai Jinxing invited pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li and Nija into the group. Pigsy, Old Li is here too. God of Thunder, another new member has joined. Barefoot Immortal, the third prince, has joined the group. It looks like this group will be very lively in the future. Neza, hello everyone. Did you miss me? Pagoda-bearing Heavenly King Li. No wonder I haven't seen you guys recently. God of Thunder, please send a red packet when you join the group. Nija, red envelope? God of Thunder, quick, educate the newbie about Tai Bai Jinxing. The group was in an uproar. Yi Zichen was also shocked. There was actually someone who wasn't in the group. He sneaked a peek at the names of the group members. He heard that Neza hated those Dragon Kings so much that they might start fighting soon. Yi Zichen looked around and saw that the Dragon King wasn't in the group. Neza, haha, this is so interesting. So that's what giving red packets is like. I just killed a dragon the day before yesterday, so I'm giving it to you guys for fun. Pooh, slaying a dragon. Fortunately, the Dragon King was not here. Otherwise, there would have been a fight, but the dragon's body should be full of good stuff. Yi Zichen focused on the screen. Ding dong. Poke. He was too slow, and the red packets were all snatched up. Zhu Beiji, third prince, aren't you being too generous? Sending a dragon directly? God of Thunder, what's going on? Just one bag? Neza, it's my first time playing. I don't understand. Canopy Marshal, quickly distribute the dragons to everyone. Pigsy, no. Chong, are you posting or not? There were 3 angry emojis behind it. Yi Zichen smiled the moment Chong appeared. Zhu Beiji could be shameless in front of others, but if Chong said so, he definitely wouldn't dare to take it for himself. Zhu Beiji, wait a moment, I'll send it right away. A full 5 minutes passed. Just as the immortals were about to let their guard down, Zhu Beiji's red packet appeared. Yi Zichen had been paying close attention the entire time. As soon as the red packet appeared, he immediately clicked it. You have received Canopy Marshal's red packet. Dragon IX1. What the hell was a dragon eye? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows, then saw the people in the group denounce him. God of Thunder. Bajia, why did you change to Canopy Marshal? Neza, yeah, Monkey Bro will beat you up if he finds out. Canopy Marshal, why can a monkey be called Monkey King? I can't change it back. Moreover, Barefoot Immortal, that's not right. Why doesn't this dragon have a whip? Canopy Marshal, the last 3 colors. Neza, how shameless. Canopy Marshal, Chong, little sister, see you in the Moon Palace. God of Thunder, there's a story. Nija, +1, everyone in the group exploded. Zhu Beiji's words were too ambiguous, especially when he tagged Chong. Before Zhu Beiji was banished to the mortal world, he already had something going on with Chong. But now, he even deliberately snatched the dragon's penis. Chong, Zhu Beiji, don't ruin my reputation. Pigsy, another row of you know what I mean emojis. Yi Zichen wasn't that interested in gossip. He exited the WeChat group and opened the dragon eye in his treasure chest. Needless to say, this dragon's eye was really big. It looked crystal clear, just like a cat's eye. Dragon's eye, special item, usage unknown. F*CKU. Yi Zichen cursed. I thought I got a good treasure, but it turns out it's just trash that can't be used. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes, then lost interest in the dragon's eye. A wave of sleepiness washed over him, causing him to throw down his phone and fall asleep. Yi Zichen slept rather well. In his dreams, even dreamed of going on a date with Chong. Just as he was about to pull Fairy Chong, Yi's little hand, someone pushed him awake. Fifth bro. OL5, stop sleeping. Everyone had a bad temper when they woke up, and Yi Zichen was no exception. He was so angry that he wanted to curse after someone messed up his beautiful dream. What? If the teacher called, then help me call it. I don't want to eat lunch, so why did you guys call me? Go downstairs and take a look. Someone is cursing you with a loudspeaker downstairs. Cursing me? Yi Zichen was confused. Zhu Yinbai directly opened the window. The moment he did so, he heard someone shout with a loudspeaker downstairs. Yi Zichen, you turtle bastard, son of a bitch, King come down. They really are cursing me. Yi Zichen rubbed his head, then lit a cigarette for himself. Let's go downstairs and take a look. A group of students gathered outside the Polytechnic University's male dormitory. Yi Zichen's name was way too popular in Polytechnic University. Someone cursing him was definitely huge news. The moment the news spread, it quickly spread, causing a group of people to surround him. Yi Zichen, stop King pretending to be dead. Lousy knows you can hear it. Hurry up and come down. The cursing continued to sound out from downstairs. Yi Zichen glanced at his Porsche 918. The car had already been sprayed with the words human-faced beast's heart. Yi Zichen looked at the bucket of paint in the hands of the man with the loudspeaker. It was clear that it was done by him as well. Yi Zichen scratched his head and walked towards a man. The man looked to be in his 20s. He was rather thin and wore glasses, making him look like a gentleman. Yi Zichen rather admired his perseverance. He had shouted for 10-odd minutes, causing his neck to turn red, yet he still persisted. However, from the looks of it, he didn't seem to know Yi Zichen. Bro, stop shouting. The school's security is coming soon. Yi Zichen patted the young man's shoulder, but the young man slapped his hand away. Don't worry about me. I have to scold that grandson, Yi Zichen. All right, I'm that grandson you're talking about. Stop scolding and stop for a moment. Look at how tired you are. Do you need me to buy you a bottle of water? Yi Zichen laughed in anger. He didn't even know him, yet he was able to scold him for 10-odd minutes. Who was it that gave him such an indomitable will? You're Yi Zichen? The young man glared. However, a glare of his did not seem threatening at all. Yi Zichen nodded, then picked up the loudspeaker in his hand. The real deal. I seem to be the only one called Yi Zichen in Polytechnic University. Sure, I was looking for you. I know you were looking for me. Otherwise, you wouldn't be shouting with a loudspeaker here, right? Yi Zichen smiled helplessly. But you have to tell me what exactly you were looking for me for. You said that you don't know me, and I don't seem to have seen you before. We don't have any grudges. Why are you scolding me like that? Also, Yi Zichen pointed at his beloved car. Do you know what car my car is? It's a Porsche 918. I've only driven it for less than a day. Do you know how much it will cost to repaint it? Stop pretending with me. So what if you're rich? You can play around with a girl's feelings just because you're rich? The young man smiled coldly, then pointed at Yi Zichen's nose and cursed. Hearing that, Yi Zichen shook his head helplessly. You can eat whatever you want, but you can't say whatever you want. Tell me, who did I play around with? At that moment, a taxi stopped in front of the dormitory. Li Jia got off the car and pulled the young man's hand toward the car. Chapter 40. Old Man Xiao invites Yi Zichen understood everything the moment he saw Li Jia. No wonder this young man was able to spray paint on his car, even though he didn't know him. From the looks of it, he should be someone from the Golden Spring Hotel. Yi Zichen remembered his license plate after checking the surveillance footage. The only thing he didn't understand was, how did he toy with Li Jia? Jia, stop pulling me. I have to make this beast in human form pay the price. Li Chuang forcefully pushed Li Jia to the ground. Yi Zichen quickly ran over to help her up, then frowned towards Li Chuang. Come at me if you have any problems. What are you playing with a girl for? Let go of me. Li Jia frowned. Yi Zichen let go of her bitterly. At this moment, Li Chuang also ran over to Li Jia's side and asked about her well-being. However, Li Jia merely shook her head towards him and signaled him to get on the car. Jia, he treated you like that. Why are you still so biased towards him? Wait. Yi Zichen raised his hand to stop Li Chuang's words. I don't really understand. What did I do to Li Jia? You cursed me with a megaphone from the start, and now you're saying that I did something to Li Jiai. What did I do to her? You know clearly what you did. Li Chuang clenched his teeth and cursed. Scumbag. Yi Zichen was truly a bit confused. He didn't know what was going on at all. If he really did do something, he definitely wouldn't avoid it. But he didn't do anything. Why did he have to take the blame? Li Jiai, what do you think I did to you? Slap. A huge slap landed on Yi Zichen's face. Yi Zichen's roommates all surrounded him, while the surrounding students also exclaimed softly. Yi Zichen raised his hand to stop them, then licked his lips and smiled towards Li Jiai. Li Jiai, you have to have a reason for hitting me, right? I saved you yesterday. What's the meaning of this now? Yi Zichen, I misjudged you. I didn't ask you to take responsibility for me. You don't have to hide like this, right? What am I hiding from? I misjudged you. Yi Zichen, I hate you. Yi Zichen dragged Li Chuang into the taxi, then stood on the spot like a statue as he watched the taxi disappear in front of his eyes. What the hell is wrong with me? Yi Zi, what's going on? Kong Peng came over curiously. I don't even know what's going on. You're asking me now. What should I say? The scene just now truly confused Yi Zichen. When he woke up in the morning, Li Jiai had said some weird things to him. He thought the woman was on her period and was in a bad mood. But damn it, he came to school in the middle of the day and said a bunch of ridiculous things. What the hell? Wait, Yi Zi, what does your family do? Is that Porsche 918 yours? Leave me alone. Yi Zichen cursed angrily, then glanced at the Porsche that had been sprayed beyond recognition. He took out his phone and called Xiao Hai, telling him to come and pick up the car before returning to the dorm sulkily. Where did you go just now? I was just about to look for you. There is big news in the school. The president of the student union, Fu Qingming, appeared in the park next to the school wearing red underwear early in the morning. This post is going viral. The moment Yi Zichen returned to the dorm, Zhang Rue started to gossip with his phone. Hearing that, Yi Zichen twitched his mouth. If it had been exposed earlier, then he might have been proud of his design. But now, stop looking. The school headlines are going to change soon. Kong Peng took a glance, then chucked the phone back. Zhang Rue looked at him in confusion, while Zhu Yunbai shrugged. Fifth bro will be at the top of the rankings again later. What now? What now? Zhang Rue could be said to be the most passionate person in the dorm when it came to gossip. He ran beside Yi Zichen barefoot. Yi Zichen kicked him to the side and cursed. F***ck off. Hi G, so sorry. You just gave me a car, and it became like this. Yi Zichen lowered his head dejectedly. Xiao Hai patted Yi Zichen's shoulders nonchalantly and smiled. You've offended quite a lot of people. You provoked quite a lot of people. Look at what you're spewing. You're a beast in human form. What kind of thing have you done that angers both men and gods? What do you mean again? Yi Zichen twitched his mouth speechlessly. Xiao Hai also chuckled, then signaled his subordinates to drive the car away. Do you need Hai Ji to help you deal with it? Don't. It's not a big deal. If Xiao Hai said that he would deal with it, then it definitely meant that he was going to kill that person. Li Chuang scolded the car for Li Jiai. As for Yi Zichen and Li Jiai, he felt like there was some misunderstanding. However, he couldn't think of what it was. All right, I'll listen to you. If you say no, then no. Xiao Hai put his arm around Yi Zichen's shoulders. Actually, Hai Ji came this time for something. I knew it. It's a bit unreasonable for Big Boss Hai to come personally to tow the car. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes as if he had already guessed it. Hearing that, Xiao Hai laughed. I knew I couldn't hide it from you. Hai Ji came this time to invite you to my house as a guest. Not going. Yi Zichen shook his head. You're not giving Hai Ji face. Xiao Hai pretended to be angry. What's more, it's not just Hai Ji who wants to invite you. It's our family's old man who wants to thank you in person. The old man's been cured? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. He didn't think that the great recovery pill would be so F***king useful. He had to stock up more great recovery pills in the future. It might be able to save his life when he got sick one day. I can't say that he's completely cured, but he's more or less cured. Xiao Hai's eyebrows were filled with joy. The old man's recovery was a joyous matter for the Xiao family. More importantly, the burden on his shoulders was slightly lighter. Although Yi Zichen called him Hai Ji, he wasn't much older than Yi Zichen. He was only 24. to manage such a large corporation at the age of 24, and he was given an order at a critical moment. The pressure was naturally huge. Lil Yi, just go. The old man gave a death order to see you no matter what. If you don't go, Hai Ji will be troubled as well. Xiao Hai acted like he was begging. Yi Zichen thought about it, then raised his eyebrows. I have class in the afternoon. Isn't it fine if you skip class? Hai Ji skipped plenty of classes in school. This isn't a reason for you to refuse. I have something to do tonight. What is it? What does it have to do with me? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. He was just making things up. He couldn't think of a proper reason all of a sudden. If you don't say it, then it's fine. Don't try to act dumb with Hai Ji. You have to go, even if you don't want to. With that, Xiao Hai grabbed Yi Zichen and threw him into the car. Yi Zichen slammed the car window and shouted towards the outside. Help, kidnapping! Xiao Hai smiled and shouted towards the driver. Chapter 41. To sound out Xiao Hai stood in front of the car door. The car had already arrived at the Xiao family for a while, but Yi Zichen just sat in the car without coming out. Xiao Yi, get off the car. Do you know this is kidnapping? Yi Zichen put on its Sundra a look. He already said that he wouldn't come, but Xiao Hai directly threw him over and caught him. Was this how one should treat a benefactor? He had saved the old man's life. Not only did he not treat him with respect, but he actually used violence against him. Even a clay figurine had a bit of anger. I heard that little Yi is here. A hearty laughter came from outside the door. Xiao Hai turned his head and was shocked. Grandpa, why did you come out? The old master was here. Yi Zichen, who was lying in the car like a lord, also sat up. It was fine for him to put on airs with Xiao Hai, since they were of the same age. But old master, Xiao did not dare to do so. Old man Xiao. Yi Zichen stood humbly in front of old man Xiao. Old man Xiao chuckled. So this is little Yi. Not bad, a talented man. You flatter me, old master. Yi Zichen immediately returned the greeting. Ha, don't be so polite. You saved this old fellow's life. Speaking of which, you are this old fellow's great benefactor. Old man Xiao laughed heartily. Since you're here, come in and have a seat. This was Yi Zichen's second visit to the Xiao family estate. But even so, he was secretly shocked by the Xiao family's extravagance. It was an independent manor that was almost as big as the villa area where he had bought the villa. He entered the living room of the villa and saw a pot of Longjing tea and 3 teacups on a coffee table. Sit. Old man Xiao pointed at the seat on the sofa and indicated Yi Zichen to sit down. Little Yi, to be honest, this old man is really grateful to you. I thought I would have to spend the rest of my life in a sickbed. I didn't expect. Old man Xiao sighed. Yi Zichen could only smile awkwardly. He really did not know how to deal with this kind of old man who had lived for a long time. Xiao Hai, who was extremely domineering outside, sat beside Yi Zichen like an obedient baby and didn't dare to say anything. For a moment, the atmosphere in the living room became awkward. Little Yi, yes. Yi Zichen immediately straightened his back. I heard from Little Hai that you used a pill called the Great Cyclic Pill to save this old man. When old man Xiao mentioned this, his eyes flashed. Yes, Yi Zichen nodded. I wonder who Little Ye's ancestor is. Old man Xiao shook his head and said with a smile, Sorry, I asked too much. This is Little Ye's secret. I have no right to pry into it. Yi Zichen chuckled idiotically. For some reason, he felt like this old guy wasn't as harmless as he seemed. How could a person who could establish such a big company be an ordinary person? Lily, do you still have that pill? Old man Xiao spoke up once again. Hearing that, Yi Zichen tensed up. Don't think too much. I'm just asking for medicine for an old friend of mine. He's about the same age as me. He's old and has many illnesses. Old master, forgive me for being powerless. Yi Zichen smiled helplessly. He did have more great cyclic pills on hand, but he wasn't an idiot. This old fellow obviously smelled something unusual. If he were to be silly and say everything, who knew what would happen? Chief Lu had asked him before for no reason if he was someone from that place. He didn't know where that place was. Since it was unknown, then it was dangerous. It was best if he didn't touch it randomly. That's truly a shame. Old man Xiao shook his head and rubbed his temples. Lil Hai, keep Lil Yi company here. I'm going back to my room to rest for a while. I'm old, my body just isn't good. I can't even sit for a while. Grandpa, take care. Old man Xiao returned to his room with the help of a servant. Only then did Xiao Hai smile apologetically. Lily, don't think too much. Little Yi, don't think too much. My grandfather is just like that. After staying in the business for a long time, he likes to think about people. However, you have to believe that he has a good heart. He definitely won't force you or investigate you in secret. As Xiao Hai explained for old man Xiao, Yi Zichen also nodded with a smile. Yi Zichen also nodded with a smile. Understood. All right, then sit here for a while. I'll go and tell the kitchen to arrange the banquet. Sure. After Xiao Hai left, Yi Zichen was the only one left in the living room. Only then did he let out a long sigh. Old man Xiao liked to think about people, but wasn't Xiao Hai the same? Since they were both businessmen, then they would have the problem of businessmen and like to think about other people's thoughts. Yi Zichen felt that it was better to interact less with businessmen in the future. Otherwise, his chat group with deities might be exposed one day. Lil Hai, what do you think of Lil Yi? If Yi Zichen found out that Xiao Hai didn't go to arrange the banquet, and instead went to old man Zhao's room, he would definitely get goosebumps and directly turn around to leave. Grandpa, Lil Yi is my good little brother. Can you not treat him like you would treat a business enemy? Xiao Hai was a bit angry. However, old man Xiao slammed the table. Idiot. Xiao Hai instantly lowered his head. We businessmen rely on thinking about other people's thoughts in order to go further. This Yi Zichen has a mysterious identity. If you don't understand his background, how are you going to become good friends with him? What's more, I think that Lil Yi isn't sincere towards you. Grandpa, you can't treat Lil Yi with your old way of thinking. He's different from other people. Xiao Hai still wanted to argue, but when he thought about old man Zhao's stubbornness, he gave up. Never mind, there's no need for this banquet. I don't want to pry into what Lil Yi is thinking, nor don't want to know if he can be sincere towards me. What's more, don't you feel like Lil Yi is very similar to an old friend of yours? Ooh, Grandpa Gu. The moment Xiao Hai said that, old man Xiao suddenly fell into deep thought. Grandpa, think about it. Grandpa Gu left in the end because you like to think about other people's thoughts, isn't that right? Preposterous. Ugh. Old man Xiao, who was sitting on the chair, suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood and fell onto the ground. Only after Yi Zichen stayed in the living room for a long time did he notice that the living room was actually a bit creepy. He didn't dare to take out his phone to look at the group chat. God knows if there were any surveillance cameras in the mansion that were monitoring him. Dong, dong, dong. A series of hurried footsteps sounded out from the stairs of the second floor of the mansion. Yi Zichen looked up and saw Xiao Hai running towards him anxiously. However, Yi Zichen was a bit confused. Xiao Hai had left from the door, and he didn't enter afterwards. Why'd he come down from the second floor? Hai Ji, shouldn't you explain it to me? Yi Zichen's expression turned cold. Xiao Hai grabbed his arm. Chapter 42. How can a ghost be so cute? He followed Xiao Hai to the second floor. The pale-faced old man, Xiao, lay on the bed, breathing less than he breathed. It seemed that he was about to die. What happened? You'll make me angry. Regret flashed across Xiao Hai's eyes. Yi Zichen snickered. You really came to old man Zhao's room, just now. Xiao Hai wanted to explain, but Yi Zichen waved his hand to signal him not to say anything. The blood on the ground had yet to dry, and it was dark black. This was not blood that a normal person would spit out. More importantly, the yin qi in this room was very dense. Yi Zichen already felt a sinister feeling when he was in the living room. When he stepped into old man Zhao's room, he noticed that the yin energy was coming from here. Yezi, look at my grandpa. When Xiao Hai saw Yi Zichen wander around the room without treating old man Xiao, he was extremely worried. Yi Zichen put his hand in front of his mouth to signal him to be quiet, while his faint golden eyes scanned the room. Burn this painting. Yi Zichen pointed at the mural beside old man Zhao's bed. This is my grandfather's beloved item. I can't make the decision. Then I won't save him. Yi Zichen shrugged and walked out. Xiao Hai clenched his teeth and said, So hot. I want to burn it now. Xiao Hai clenched his teeth, then took down the painting and burned it in front of Yi Zichen. Only then did Yi Zichen smile in satisfaction, then clench his right fist. All right, I'm leaving. Arrange a car for me. Let's go. My grandpa, I'll be done in a moment. Yi Zichen smiled mysteriously. Xiao Hai instantly reacted. Actually, old man Xiao vomited blood not because he was angry, but because of this painting. But he couldn't understand why. When Yi Zichen got on the car, Xiao Hai wanted to get the driver to send him back, but Yi Zichen refused. Just as Yi Zichen was about to leave the Xiao family, he rolled down the window and raised his eyebrows at Xiao Hai. Remember, you owe me an explanation. Also, your grandfather will wake up after I leave. You should hurry over and accompany him. Tell him that I don't like people scheming against me. The car slowly started, and Xiao Hai stood in the same spot for a long time. Yi Zichen actually knew everything. Just as Yi Zichen said, old man Xiao opened his eyes after he left the manor. Xiao Hai sat beside the bed and helped old man Xiao to sit up. Grandpa, are you all right? Little Yi saved me again. A hint of helplessness flashed in old man Xiao's eyes. Xiao Hai nodded and said, yes, Xiao Yi told me to burn the painting on your bedside. He also told me to tell you that he doesn't like people scheming against him. Mural? Old man Xiao hurriedly raised his head to take a look. Very quickly, he powerlessly lowered his head again and patted Xiao Hai's shoulders. You're right. He's really like old Gu. In the future, I won't interfere with the matters between you two. You can go. I'm tired and want to rest. Only after Xiao Hai left the room did old man Xiao sit up again, sighing as he looked at the empty space above the head of the bed. Old Gu, the painting you wanted to burn back then has been burned. After leaving the Xiao family estate, Yi Zichen had been acting very strangely. When he was driving, he had been driving with one hand, while his other hand was clenched into a fist. Let go of me. A feminine shout suddenly sounded out in the empty car. Wait a moment. Yi Zichen smiled playfully, then locked all the windows and doors before letting go. Why can you see me? A girl in a light blue floral dress floated on the roof of Yi Zichen's car. Don't worry about why I can see you. I'm just curious. Why did you have a problem with that old man? He angered Grandpa Gu away. Grandpa Gu? Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows. That Grandpa Gu is a person? Uh-huh. A living person, the ghost girl nodded. He can see you as well? Yeah, Grandpa Gu treats me very well. The girl actually smiled when she mentioned Uncle Gu. When the girl mentioned Uncle Gu, she even revealed a smile. Oh yeah, why did you burn that painting? Don't you know that the painting is absorbing your yin energy? That's a very vicious item. Why did you keep it instead of burning it? Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. Why don't you go and reincarnate after you die? What are you wandering around here for? I can't. A dejected look appeared on the girl's face as she said, I faked my death. My lifespan was not up yet, so the underworld did not accept me. I can only wander around like this and wait until my lifespan is up before I can reincarnate. Faking death meant that one's lifespan was not up. All of this was far too shocking. If it wasn't for the fact that Yi Zichen had already sworn brotherhood with a deity, he really would have been scared half to death. However, this female ghost was quite pitiful. She died mysteriously before her lifespan ended. He couldn't even reincarnate after he died, so he could only wander around in the human world. Then what are you going to do now? Yi Zichen felt a sense of compassion. If there was anything he could help the ghost girl with, then he was prepared to help. I don't know either. The female ghost lowered her head helplessly and fiddled with the hem of her embroidered skirt with her fingers. When Uncle Gu was still alive, the Xiao family was my safe haven. But since Uncle Gu passed away, I no longer have a home. Then how about you come with me? Yi Zichen rubbed his chin. The ghost girl twitched her mouth with a frown. Why should I hate you? I can tell that you aren't a good person at first glance. Are you lusting after my beauty and want to do something to me? I'm telling you I'm a ghost. You're very strong. You're delusional. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at her in annoyance. She's a ghost, and I'm a human, lusting after her beauty? But regardless of what he said, this ghost girl did look all right. You're the one who does. The ghost girl leaped towards Yi Zichen. In Yi Zichen's imagination, ghost girls should have a green face and fangs. However, this ghost girl was actually a bit cute when she was angry. Yi Zichen raised his hand and grabbed her wrist, then threw her onto the roof of the car. I have the great sage's ultimate technique here. You can't beat me. You're a bully. The ghost girl floated in the car and started to cry. Yi Zichen blushed for some reason. Is this a King ghost? How can a ghost cry? And so cute. All right, I was wrong. Don't cry anymore. Yi Zichen raised his hand and pulled the ghost girl onto the front passenger seat. See if there's anything on me that you can attach to. At least you won't get bullied if you follow me. What's more, I know people. Perhaps one day I'll drink with the Yama King and let you reincarnate. You're lying. Who's lying to you? Yi Zichen took out his phone and opened the chat group. You know how to read, right? See who the people in the group are. Neza, Canopy Marshall, God of Thunder, ugh. The female ghost suddenly laughed out loud. What are you laughing at? This was the first time Yi Zichen revealed his secret to other people, but the ghost girl actually laughed. Chapter 43. Subdue the female ghost. Yi Zichen was truly stunned when he saw the ghost girl smile. Why did the female ghost have to be so cute? It was so unfair. Whoosh. When the ghost girl noticed Yi Zichen's expression, she floated onto the roof of the car and crossed her arms in front of her chest with a frown. What are you doing? Don't try to do anything to me. Come down. Yi Zichen raised his hand, grabbed the ghost girl's leg, and pulled her down. The car was only so big, so where could she hide? What are you doing? Let me tell you, I'm a virgin ghost. If you touch me, you'll be in big trouble. The ghost girl's face was filled with caution, as if Yi Zichen really wanted to do something to her. I say, female ghost, we are separated by life and death. Don't be so narcissistic, okay? I also have a lot of girls waiting for me to pick up. Afraid that the ghost wouldn't believe him, Yi Zichen took out his phone and looked at Su Yan's moments. Did he blacklist me? He opened up Su Yan's WeChat moments and saw that there were no messages, so he decided to give a try. Hello. Qin Yiren has activated friend verification. You are not her friend yet. Please send a friend request first. Someone deleted it. The ghost girl laughed happily. Yi Zichen gestured for her to calm down, then scrolled to Xia Kik's moments. Hey, I didn't delete it this time. Look. Yi Zichen scrolled down his phone, but the ghost girl was completely stunned. Coco, you know him? Yi Zichen opened his eyes wide and saw the ghost girl reveal a sad smile. Is she doing well? From the looks of it, the female ghost really did know Xia Kiki. Very good. She's now the campus belle of the Polytechnic University. That's great. The female ghost smiled and said, we used to say that we would go to the Polytechnic University together. I didn't expect her to really go to this university. All right, Xiako and I are good friends. Yi Zichen subconsciously gulped and touched his arm. Seriously, he had goosebumps all over his body. This female ghost actually knew Xia Kiki, and the two of them even agreed to go to university together, especially since they had agreed to meet at Polytechnic University. From this, it could be deduced that the two of them met in high school, because middle school and elementary school kids only had a few universities in their minds. May I ask, when did you die? 2 years ago, right before the college entrance examination. The female ghost's face was full of smiles, but that smile was mixed with indescribable bitterness. Who? Yi Zichen placed his hand on his chest and took a few deep breaths. He had a feeling. He had come across something extraordinary. Something happened on the eve of the college entrance examination. His lifespan had not ended. He killed. Goosebumps appeared all over Yi Zichen's body. He intentionally cast aside his thoughts and calmed himself down. Let's get back to the main topic. See if there's a place you can stay on my body. You can follow me from now on. Aren't you good friends with Xia Kiki? If you follow me, you might even be able to meet her. Is it necessary? The female ghost shook her head with a smile. Even if we meet, can we talk like this? Yi Zichen knew very well that he wouldn't. He could see the female ghost because of the great sage's fiery eyes of truth. Xia Kiki was just a normal person, so how could she see it? Humans and ghosts were different. They were not the same people. However, he saw the anticipation in the female ghost's eyes. Yes. Yi Zichen smiled. The female ghost was shocked. Yi Zichen continued, believe me, a lot of strange things have happened around me. For example, I can see you right now. Stay by my side. I can revive you. You're lying. It's impossible for you to do something that even Grandpa Goo can't. I don't know who the Grandpa Goo you're talking about is. I'm not him. Don't use him to measure me. Yi Zichen squinted his eyes. He didn't know who that Grandpa Goo was, but since he could see the female ghost, then he was definitely a master. But so what if he was a master? He had a group. They were all deities. In order to let the female ghost regain hope, Yi Zichen threw out another bomb. I guarantee that I can revive you and let you meet your parents and friends again. Revive. The female ghost's body trembled intensely. She bit her lips and clenched her fists tightly. There's something on you that I can attach myself to. Point it out. I can't find it, but I can feel it. Yi Zichen immediately reacted. He opened the treasure chest in his phone and took out the dragon eye of unknown use. That should be it. Yes. As soon as the female ghost finished speaking, she entered the dragon eye. After she entered the dragon eye, the dim dragon quickly shrunk to the size of a glass bead. Moreover, there was a white radiance flickering above it. This place is very suitable for me to live. It can nourish my soul. There was some joy in the female ghost's voice. Soon, she changed to a dignified tone and said, "Can you really avenge me? Even Grandpa Goo. I said I am me. Trust me." Yi Zichen gently caressed the shining dragon eye. The dragon eye flashed intensely, as if a female ghost was laughing. "Okay, I believe you. Tell me your name." Yi Zichen. "Hello, my name is Lu Jing." When Yi Zichen returned to school, the dormitory was just about to close. Yi Zichen rushed in just as the door was about to close and saw a bunch of animals in the dormitory doing stripteases. "Hey, why did you bring me to this sort of place?" The moment Yi Zichen entered the room, Lu Jing, who was in his pocket, started to exclaim. Yi Zichen patted the dragon eye and said softly, "Isn't the male dormitory supposed to be like this? If you don't want to look, then just stay in the dragon eye properly. I'm just curious. I've never been to university before. Can't I satisfy my curiosity a bit? Then don't make a fuss over there." "Zichen, what are you talking to yourself for?" Kong Peng ran over in his shorts. Lu Jing screamed out once again, causing Yi Zichen's eardrums to hurt. "Yi, are you feeling unwell?" "I'm fine. Let me rest properly for a bit." Yi Zichen did not take a shower and merely laid down on the dormitory bed after taking off his clothes. "Hey, hurry up and take a shower," Lu Jing said in disdain. "I don't like it." Yi Zichen flipped over and laid on the blanket. Lu Jing put her hands on her waist and snorted. "All right, you're not going to shower, right? When Yi Zichen walked into the school's public bathroom with a towel, his entire face turned green. He regretted bringing this ghost girl back out of kindness. He clearly King brought a grandma back. "Hurry up and shower. I'll wait for you here." Lu Jing sat on the windowsill outside the bathroom and looked at the moonlight outside. Yi Zichen glanced at her, then walked in with the shower gel. Yi Zichen opened the shower gel and closed his eyes, allowing the water to wet his hair. At the same time, there was only one name that continuously repeated in his mind. Lu Jing. I wonder what kind of story will happen for her in the future. However, Chapter 44. Make connections. Yi Zichen sat on a chair in the mansion in a daze as he held his phone. It was as if Monkey Bro had evaporated from the heavenly court. He no longer argued with Erlang Shun in the group, nor did he argue with Yi Zichen on WeChat. He looked at the last chat record. It was a few days ago. "Great Sage, where have you been? I haven't seen you around recently." After a long time, there was still no reply. Yi Rong took the washed grapes and placed them on the stone table in the courtyard. Little White followed behind her with its tail raised. That Sundara look made people unable to restrain their laughter. "Zichen, eat some grapes." Hearing that, Yi Zichen put away his phone, then picked up a grape and chucked it into his mouth. Little White squatted by his feet and glanced at the plate. It seemed to be saying, "Give me one too." Picking up a few grapes from the plate, Little White threw them down and leaped. So south. The 3 grapes went straight into his mouth without even touching the ground. Wow, that's pretty impressive. He grabbed another handful and threw it down. Not a single one fell. Wagging its tail in disdain, Little White raised its proud head and left. This little thing, Yi Zichen laughed. Yirong also looked at Lil White with a smile. Little White is very smart. I feel like it can understand what we're saying. Of course, don't you know who picked it? Actually, Yi Zichen wanted to say, of course. How could the dogs of the heavenly court be bad? Zichen, after eating some grapes, Yi Rong hesitated for a while before speaking. Yi Zichen raised his eyebrows and sat up straight. What happened? Although I have Xiaobai to accompany me, I still feel a little bored staying in the villa every day. Yi Zichen could understand, since there wasn't a single person in the mansion district. Yi Rong wanted to find someone to talk to, but she couldn't find anyone to talk to. Moreover, when she was in the village, she also did some small business. Now that she suddenly had nothing to do, she was indeed flustered. Actually, there was a lot of work, but it depended on what they were doing. He couldn't let his mother continue to sell fruits. He didn't want to see his mother get tired. What do you want to do? Besides, if you want to do business, you must have capital. Your son's pockets are completely empty now. Yi Zichen wanted to hear Yi Rong's thoughts. He wasn't lying about being poor. He still owed money outside. Although he didn't have to return it, he still owed it in his heart. Yi Rong took out a card from her pocket and placed it on the table. This card. This is the compensation for our son's demolition. I don't know why they gave us 2 million. Since you've given it, just keep it. Needless to say, the extra money must have been given to him by Huang Ming's grandson. Now, when that grandson saw him, he was like a mouse seeing a cat. There was no need to mention how scared he was. Last time in the village, Yi Zichen might have nearly pissed his pants, but honestly speaking, Yi Zichen didn't know why this grandson was so afraid of him. Then what do you think we should do with this money? Yi Rong asked. This question truly troubled Yi Zichen. He had never started a business before, so the money he had was like a windfall. You can keep the money for now. I'll ask my friend what's suitable for you. That's fine. Yi Rong smiled and put the card away. Oh yeah, son, don't all university students have girlfriends? Why have I never seen you bring one back? Yi Zichen immediately ran away. Hey, I didn't think that your family was so rich. You live in such a high-class mansion. Lu Jing smiled playfully as she sat in the car. Yi Zichen smiled arrogantly, then reached out his hand to rub Lu Jing's head. I told you, if you follow me, you'll definitely have a good life. Tisk, Lu Jing spat softly. However, there was a strange feeling growing in her heart. For example, the rubbing of her head just now. She really hadn't let anyone rub her hair for a long time. Yi Zichen was the first person that could touch her after she became a female ghost. Even Grandpa Gu couldn't. All of a sudden, her confidence in Yi Zichen increased greatly. As Yi Zichen drove, he suddenly saw an old man sneakily running forward on the side of the road. Isn't that Su Yan's grandfather? From the looks of it, he successfully escaped again. Beep. Yi Zichen pressed the car horn twice. Elder Su's eyes lit up when he saw Yi Zichen. He quickly ran over and directly sat on the front passenger seat. Lil Yi, hurry up and drive. Io, you're crushing me. Lu Jing was sitting on the front passenger seat just now, but old man Su directly sat on top of her the moment he got in the car. Yi Zichen snickered, while Lu Jing also cursed. You're still laughing. Hurry up and make this old man get up. Old man Su forcefully suppressed his laughter. Seeing that Yi Zichen didn't start the car, he also felt a bit anxious. Lil Yi, what are you doing? Hurry up and drive. We'll catch up soon. Okay, but old man Su, lift your butt first. Yi Zichen nearly couldn't help but laugh as he spoke. Old man Su also felt a bit dizzy, but he still lifted his butt. I'm finally free. Lu Jing let out a long sigh and floated to the back seat. Yi Zichen also forced a smile and asked old man Su, where are we going? Anywhere, as long as we can drink. All right. Yi Zichen stepped on the accelerator, causing the car to turn into a bolt of lightning and disappear into the road. Not long after Yi Zichen left, a group of men in military uniforms appeared at the previous location. As they watched Yi Zichen's car leave, they shouted into the walkie-talkie. He didn't catch up to Chief. He got into a car with the license plate number XXXXX, requesting assistance. Yi Zichen chose a barbecue stall. He still remembered that old man Su liked barbecue. What's more, a place like a bar shouldn't be liked by someone of his age. Yi Zichen and Old Man Su directly drank from the bottles of beer after ordering a table full of skewers. Lil Yi were truly fated. Yeah, Yi Zichen smiled. It was truly fated. He managed to run into Old Man Su both times he tried to escape. Old Man Su, your complexion is getting better and better. Yi Zichen put the beer to the side, then picked up a lamb skewer and took a bite. Lily, I feel like it's because of your alcohol. Old Man Su took a bite of the skewer. Old Master Su took a bite of the skewer and said, I sneak a few sips of that wine you gave me every day. I don't say my heart feels better every time I drink it, and my body seems to be getting better. Is that so? Old Man Su's alcohol addiction has been cured, so he's in a good mood. That's true. Old Man Su chuckled. After a few rounds of drinking, Old Man Su and Yi Zichen's topic gradually changed from alcohol to Su Yan. Lil, have you been in contact with my granddaughter recently? Don't mention it. Yi Zichen shook his head with a sigh. They did have some sort of relationship, but the F***CK connection was broken. He had always been troubled by this broken connection. What? My granddaughter doesn't like you. Chapter 45. Su Yan's strings were tied again. Condition. Yi Zichen blurted out without even thinking. Old Master Su smiled and wiped the corner of his mouth with his finger. Do you still have the wine? Pa Yi Zichen directly chucked the green gourd onto the table. Old Man Su was stunned for a long time, then glanced at Yi Zichen meaningfully. His eyebrows twitched slightly, but he calmly suppressed the shock. Just as he thought, this kid was not ordinary. Perhaps he really was from that side. The instant he took out the green gourd, Yi Zichen felt a bit impulsive. He had retrieved the monkey wine directly from his WeChat treasure chest and did not carry it with him. The old man must have been scared out of his wits when he suddenly took it out. He sneaked a peek at Old Master Su, who was fondling the gourd lovingly. I don't think so. Yi Zichen silently rejoiced. The old man was a trustworthy person, so he picked up his phone and dialed Su Yan's number. About 20 minutes later, a beautiful figure appeared under the bright street lamp. On the way here, Su Yan would occasionally look back, as if she was on guard against anyone following her. When she came to Old Man Su's side, she smiled helplessly. Grandpa, why did you sneak out to eat again? It's not like you don't know that Grandpa only likes these two things. Old Man Su stroked his beard and chuckled. Su Yan lightly sighed, then sat opposite him and said, If Dad finds out, he'll beat me to death. How dare he? The old man glared at him, and he couldn't help but exude the aura of a superior. He is your father, but in front of me, he is my son. If he dares to hit my precious granddaughter, I'll skin him alive. Su Yan was also angered by Old Man Su to the point of laughing. At that moment, the green gourd on the side of the table entered her eyes. For some reason, Su Yan frowned slightly. Grandpa, you found out. Old Master Su chuckled as he held the gourd in his hand. Pulling out the stopper, he poured a mouthful of wine into his mouth. This is good wine. Looking at this gourd, you should know who is looking for you, right? How did you meet him again? Su Yan frowned, bit her lips, and stood up from the chair. Seeing this, Old Master Su hurriedly shouted to the back. Xiao Yi, come out quickly. My granddaughter is going to run away. Only then did Yi Zichen walk out from a dark corner near the barbecue. His face was filled with an awkward smile as he waved at Su Yan. Su Yan fiercely glared at it. The scene of Xia Kiki kissing him was still vivid in her mind. Ignoring him, he turned around and walked out. Yi Zichen quickly chased after her and grabbed her arm. Yi Zichen glanced over to where they'd touched, then hurriedly retracted his hand and rubbed it anxiously. Su Yan, I didn't do it on purpose. Yes. Su Yan's gaze was filled with coldness. The bone-chilling coldness caused Yi Zichen's heart to sink. I think there's some misunderstanding between us. Yi Zichen hesitated for a moment, then decided to tell Su Yan everything. Old Master Su wasn't that easy to bump into. It was a coincidence that he was able to bump into him this time. If he didn't explain this time, then God knows how long it would take for the two of them to resolve their differences. Perhaps, as time goes on, the conflict would become more and more unresolvable. Then, he would really have to say goodbye to his goddess. I don't think there's any misunderstanding between us. Su-Yan's expression was cold, and she didn't give Yi Zichen any face at all. However, her actions betrayed her thoughts. She didn't leave. This meant that she wanted to hear Yi Zichen's explanation. Otherwise, she would have directly turned around and hailed a taxi, and everything would be over. Is this your girlfriend? So pretty. How did you make her angry? Did you cheat on her outside? Lu Jing teased in midair. Yi Zichen frowned and shouted. Shut up. You're telling me to shut up? Fine. I'll shut up. Su-Yan was shocked by Yi Zichen's roar. She immediately turned around and left without saying anything else. Don't, Su-Yan, I wasn't talking about you. Old man Su, who sat at the barbecue stall, smiled kindly as he watched Yi Zichen and Su-Yan seemed to be flirting. Old man Su drank a mouthful of monkey wine, then muttered softly, Young people are so energetic. After much persuasion, Yi Zichen managed to hold Su-Yan back. However, she didn't give him any face. Su-Yan crossed her arms and raised her delicate chin. I'll give you 1 minute, 1 minute. That wasn't a lot of time. If Yi Zichen told the story from start to finish, then he definitely wouldn't be able to finish it. There's still 50 seconds. I didn't start yet. 45 seconds. Stop rushing me. I'm going to organize it. Yi Zichen took a deep breath after calming down his messy emotions. The situation at the police station was like this. You saw Xia Kiki kiss me, but it was all an illusion. Why did she kiss me? The main reason is, Yi Zichen rambled on and on without even taking a breath in between. After Yi Zichen finished explaining the situation, he placed his hands on his thighs like a primary school student and listened to Su-Yan's words. Also, you didn't explain it clearly. Su-Yan frowned. Yi Zichen scratched his head and fell in a deep thought. There's nothing else to explain? Are you going to remind me? It just happened, Su-Yan said in an unfriendly tone. Yi Zichen slapped his thigh. You're talking about the incident at the boys' dormitory? That was also a misunderstanding, blah, blah, blah. Yi Zichen continued to confess. When he finished, Su-Yan crossed her arms and laughed coldly. It's very romantic. That's very romantic, getting angry for the sake of a beauty. Su-Yan, you have to believe me. I'm helping Xia Kiki purely out of respect for you. As for that Li Jiai, it was purely a coincidence. She's my classmate. What's more, I didn't do anything to her. I don't have that much face. Su-Yan twitched her mouth, but felt a hint of sweetness in her heart. On account of her. However, when she thought about this guy's recent behavior, she couldn't be nice to him. He actually didn't send her a WeChat message for such a long time. He didn't even contact her when she deleted him. But indeed, she misunderstood the matter between him and Xia Kiki. Ding dong. Marriage string received. Possessor. Yi Zichen. Possessed. Su-Yan. Current affability level. 50. It's even higher than before. Yi Zichen's eyelids twitched. Su-Yan, you're not angry anymore, right? Yi Zichen asked in a testing manner when he saw Su-Yan's expression turn for the better and the appearance of the marriage string. Su-Yan lowered her eyebrows and looked at him with a scrutinizing gaze. Are you sure that you didn't touch Li Jiai that day? Then how did you deal with it? It's not convenient for me to say it. I'm telling you to say it. Su-Yan raised her eyebrows once again. He actually dared to hide it from her. Then come over. I'll tell you in secret. Yi Zichen waved his hand towards Su-Yan, causing her to stick her ear over. Very quickly, Su-Yan blushed from her face to her ears, then raised her hand and hit Yi Zichen. Chapter 46. A huge scene. The conflict was resolved. Yi Zichen and Su-Yan returned to the barbecue shop side by side. Old man Su sat on the chair and scanned the two of them with a playful gaze. The two of you have made up? Although he knew that old man Su was trying to get him and Su-Yan together, he didn't think that old man Su would say it so blatantly. More importantly, why did old man Su want to get them together? Was it purely for that bottle of monkey wine? If that's really the case, then Su-Yan is too worthless. It was fortunate that he was the one who took out the monkey wine. If it was someone else, then he would definitely cry himself to sleep in the toilet. On the other hand, Su-Yan's beautiful face was completely red. She bit her lips and slapped the table in annoyance. If you speak nonsense again, then I won't sneak you away anymore. It's Grandpa's fault for talking too much. Old man Su chuckled. After eating and drinking for another half an hour, Old Man Sue also felt satisfied, so the three of them prepared to leave. Big bro, that brat seems to be the Yi Zichen that young Master Fu talked about. A little redhead pointed towards Yi Zichen, causing the 5 or 6 youths beside him to instantly surround him. Hey, now that you mention it, it really is him. The bald boss rubbed his shiny bald head as a cruel smile appeared on his face. Our luck is pretty good. We actually directly bumped into the business we just accepted. Hey, damn pervert, they're looking for you. Lu Jing, who floated in midair, shouted. Lil, Yi, these people are looking for you? Old Man Su also frowned. Although Su Yin didn't say anything, the anxiety in her eyes for Yi Zichen was much more than the others. Brat, you're Yi Zichen, right? The baldy man touched the golden chain around his neck and walked towards Yi Zichen with his yellow teeth. Yi Zichen stood on the spot without moving. It seems like Fu Qingming called these people to deal with him. I didn't think that Fu Qingming would act so quickly. I am. Yi Zichen replied without changing his expression. Good, you dare to admit it. Not bad. The baldy man touched his bald head. Young Master Fu told us to break one of your legs. Look, young man, this is a lawful society. Aren't you afraid of the law punishing you? Old Master Su couldn't stand it any longer and stepped forward to say something. Who knew that when the baldy heard this, he would laugh out loud in an arrogant manner. Old man, you actually want to lecture me? Let me tell you, in this area, I am the law. What I say is the King Imperial Edict. Hold that brat down. You can't do this, or we'll call the police. Su Yan was worried that Yi Zichen would be in danger, so she jumped out. When the baldy saw Su Yan, his eyes instantly widened. I didn't expect there to be a young lady here. Why, is this pretty boy a man? Are you worried about him? The baldy reached out his hand to touch Su Yan's face. Yi Zichen, who stood there without moving, picked up the beer bottle on the table. Bang! Ran directly on his head. If you dare touch her, believe it or not, I will break your limbs. Brat, you're courting death. Looks like you don't believe me. Yi Zichen smiled warmly, but his expression quickly turned incomparably sharp. He lifted his leg and kicked the baldy's stomach. Fuck, this grandson actually wanted to touch Su Yan. Su Yan was his woman. If anyone dared to touch her, he would chop them into pieces. What are you blanking out for? Get him. The baldy, who hit the lamppost, cursed at his subordinates. A golden light floated out from Yi Zichen's eyes. He held the broken pieces of the beer bottle and snorted coldly towards the baldy subordinates. If you don't want to die, then stand still. When the subordinates saw Yi Zichen's faint golden eyes, they instantly froze on the spot. You shouldn't have wanted to touch her. Do you understand? Yi Zichen stabbed the broken pieces of the beer bottle into the baldy's collarbone. Actually, I didn't want to be rough in front of Elder Su and Su Yin, but why did you have to touch her? Bang. Yi Zichen punched the baldy's face, causing the right side of his face to instantly change. Oh yeah, I said it before, I'm going to break your limbs. Crack. Yi Zichen stepped on the baldy's left arm with force with his right foot, causing the clear sound of bones breaking to be heard. The miserable scream caused the eyelids of the surrounding people to twitch. Hurry up and call the police. Someone's going to die. The customers in the barbecue shop started to call the police. At the same time, on Elder Su's phone. Dad, why did you sneak out again? You even got rid of the guards. Where are you right now? I'll come and pick you up. Yeah, where am I? I'm currently surrounded by a bunch of delinquents. Just now, my darling granddaughter was nearly taken advantage of by the delinquent leader. Su Chi-hu, do as you see fit. Slap. After Elder, Su hung up the phone angrily. He sat on the chair and looked towards Yi Zichen's position. For some reason, he liked Yi Zichen a bit more. He's ruthless enough, he's a talent. It seems like I have to think of a way to trick him over to my side. This kind of talent will only have a bright future if he follows me. All of a sudden, Elder Su looked towards Su Yan. When he saw Su Yan's nervous expression, Elder Su instantly made a decision in his heart. Catch a pig, catch a pig, catch a pig. A loud siren of police car sounded out. Don't move, put your hands up. A clear shout sounded out from behind Yi Zichen as she casually threw the half-dead baldy onto the ground. Yi Zichen turned around. When he saw the gun-wielding female police officer, he couldn't help but shake his head with a smile. Officer Lin, we truly are fated. Yi Zichen counted the police cars. There were a total of 8. She really did think highly of him. It's you again. I knew we would meet again. Officer Lin smiled coldly, then waved towards the police officers behind her, signaling them to detain Yi Zichen. Wait a moment. Yi Zichen smiled, signaling them to calm down. Officer Lin frowned and shouted, What tricks do you want to play now? Yi Zichen took 2 steps back with a chuckle and arrived beside the Baldy. Seeing that Yi Zichen actually returned, the Baldy's eyes were filled with terror. Do you still have a leg that isn't broken? Don't worry, I'll break it for you right now. Crack. Yi Zichen, put your hands up, or else I'm going to shoot. Officer Lin roared. Don't be nervous, he won't die. You actually dared to attack the victim in front of me. I think you're looking down on me. Don't be so serious. It's so hurtful, isn't it? Yi Zichen smiled and pointed at the Baldy on the ground. I said from the start that I was going to break all 4 of his limbs. A person has to be true to their words and break them just like that. Otherwise, how am I supposed to survive in the Jianghu if I leave him with only 1? You're truly going against the heavens. Arrest him. Officer Lin roared. Elder Su, who had been sitting on the chair, suddenly stood up and snorted. I want to see who dares. At that moment, a dozen or so military off-road vehicles stopped outside the barbecue shop. Men in military uniforms stepped out of the vehicles with resolute expressions and ran in front of Elder Su in an orderly manner. Chapter 47. They all have tempers. Elder Su's attitude shocked Yi Zichen, causing him to look at the people around him. Guard company. Could it be that Teacher Su is a big shot in the military? Doesn't that mean Su Yin is the 3rd generation of the Red Army? The police officers who came to arrest Yi Zichen also stopped. The military and the police belonged to 2 different departments. But the other party had an entire guard company, and more importantly, they had a lot of people. Captain, are we still catching them? Catch him. Officer Lin frowned. No wonder this kid was so arrogant. He actually had connections in the military. This time, if it was someone else, he might really have escaped. But he was unlucky to run into me on duty. Guard company. Yes. The dozens of security guards stood at attention. Old Master soon narrowed his eyes and snorted. The little friend over there is trying to save this old man. Do you understand the rest? With that, Old Master Su walked to the side with his hands behind his back. Guard company, everyone carry out the mission. Several tens of guards surrounded Officer Lin and the other officers, while 2 men with military-grade assault rifles stood in front of Yi Zichen. Captain! Captain, what captain? Arrest him. Officer Lin's temper flared. Was he trying to scare her? She was not the kind of person who would submit to adversity. Didn't they want to fight head-on? Then let's try it out. I allow you to shoot those who resist. If anything happens, I'll take responsibility. For a moment, the 2 sides confronted each other, and the smell of gunpowder filled the air. Yi Zichen, who was standing behind them, heard their conversation. It seems like they all have tempers. The pitch-black muzzles were pointed at each other. If they accidentally fired, he had to bear the responsibility. How did things inexplicably blow up like this? Yi Zichen scratched his head, then patted the guard company member in front of him. Excuse me, I'll say something. The man looked towards Elder Su. When he saw Elder Su nod, he stepped aside to let Yi Zichen walk out. Capture him, crack. The man behind Yi Zichen instantly raised his machine gun, causing Yi Zichen, who stood in the middle, to feel like his head was about to explode. Damn you. You guys fight, I'm in the middle. Why are you guys carrying guns? Although I have the invincible Vajra body, I can't defend against firearms. Don't move. Yi Zichen shouted, then ran in front of Old Man Su and muttered something that no one knew what. Little Yi, this matter. Sir, I know you're doing this for my own good, but the whole country advocates cooperation between the police and the people. We can't make things difficult for them, right? Moreover, you're such a big shot. If word gets out that you're going against the police with a security company, it won't be good for you. All right, but if they make things difficult for you, look for me, all right. Things were much easier to solve after settling one side. Under Elder Su's signal, the guards returned to his side in an orderly manner. Yi Zichen also ran towards Officer Lin. Let's go. Capture him. Even though Yi Zichen solved such a huge problem, Officer Lin did not treat him nicely. The surrounding police officers instantly surrounded Yi Zichen and were about to handcuff him. What are you doing? You don't have to wear the handcuffs. I can't run away. As Yi Zichen spoke, he winked at Officer Lin and Elder Su. Officer Lin hesitated for a moment, then replied, "Forget it. I'll go with you guys as well. This started because of me." Seeing that Yi Zichen was about to be taken into the police car, Su Yin, who was worried about him, also ran over. Officer Lin looked at her a few times, then looked at Elder Su's expression and raised her eyebrows. "Take him away as well." After the police car left, a table not far away from the crime scene outside the Braze coffee shop. "Young master," they took him away. "We go back and tell Fu Qingming that we won't accept this mission." The young man narrowed his eyes and downed the beer in his cup in one gulp. The old man sitting opposite him also gave a knowing smile and said. The elder sitting opposite him also smiled knowingly. "That's true. I can tell that Su Qian cares a lot about that young man. There's no need for us to offend the Su family for the Fu family." The youth nodded non-committally, but Yi Zichen's words surfaced in his mind, breaking his four limbs just like that. A person has to be honest. He's an interesting person. Yi Zichen couldn't help but shake his head and smile as he looked at the familiar interrogation room. He didn't know when it started, but he gradually became a frequent visitor to the police station. Bang! Officer Lin walked in with a cold expression and slammed the notebook onto the table. "No, Officer Lin, why are you so angry?" Officer Lin sat on the chair without saying anything. She looked up and glanced at Yi Zichen with a scrutinizing gaze. "Name." Hearing that, Yi Zichen shook his head with a smile. "You don't know what my name is? You even called my name in the barbecue shop just now. Don't play dumb with me. You committed a crime. Do you understand? But I helped you out a lot just now. Do you understand?" Yi Zichen stood up from the chair, walked in front of the interrogation table, and laid his head on it. "Do you know who that old man just now is? If it wasn't for me, you would have been sent to the military court for a little cop like you to fight with someone. Stay away from me." Officer Lin raised her hand and pushed Yi Zichen away. The two of them were only 2 centimeters apart just now, and their noses were about to touch. Yi Zichen's gaze couldn't help but look towards the collar in front of her chest, while a naughty smile surfaced on his face. Officer Lin is truly something. Bang! Officer Lin slammed the table. The loud sound caused Yi Zichen to jump up in shock. "Woman, what are you doing? Why are you so surprised?" Officer Lin's eyes were filled with coldness as she said to Yi Zichen sternly, "Go back to your place and stay there." Yi Zichen sighed softly and returned to his chair. The moment he sat down, Officer Lin spoke up once again. "Say it. Why did you maliciously injure someone?" "How did I maliciously injure someone?" Yi Zichen opened his eyes wide in terror and shouted exaggeratedly. "That grandson spoke rudely to my friend first and even tried to get physical. Is it wrong for me to teach him a lesson?" "Huh, that's called a little lesson. You broke his limbs." Officer Lin laughed coldly. "You don't know who that girl is, right? She's old man Su's granddaughter, a proper 3rd generation. Didn't you see the guard company? I did that to help that person, otherwise he would have lost his life." Yi Zichen acted like he was thinking for the baldy. Officer Lin smiled slightly and slammed the table again. "Don't argue with me here. I'm telling you, no matter what you say, you maliciously injured someone. What's more, you maliciously injured someone in front of me. I can't just let this go. What's more, it's your bad luck for someone like you to fall into my hands." Officer Lin seemed to have angered Yi Zichen quite a bit, causing her chest to heave up and down. "Officer Lin, aren't you targeting me a bit by saying that?" Yi Zichen frowned slightly, then stood up from the chair and leaned in front of Officer Lin's interrogation table with a naughty smile. Chapter 48. Lu Jing's weirdness. Yi Zichen smiled naughtily and stared straight into Officer Lin's eyes. All of a sudden, a flash of spring appeared. The light attracted his gaze, causing him to subconsciously look down. Slap. To be honest, Officer Lin's slap didn't hurt Yi Zichen at all. He touched his cheek, then returned to the chair and crossed his legs, but raised his eyebrows slightly. "I didn't do it on purpose. It was purely a subconscious reaction. Say, "It's your fault. Didn't you tie your collar tightly when interrogating you properly?" "You, what about you? Don't you know that I'm a university student and am still in my ignorant adolescence? Aren't you clearly forcing me to commit a crime?" Yi Zichen retorted, then smiled naughtily. "I understand. No wonder you always come by yourself during every interrogation and even shut the door tightly. Do you have ill intentions towards me?" Xiaoyang. Officer Lin's lips turned white due to Yi Zichen's anger. She roared towards the door. Not long later, the interrogation room's door opened, and a police officer ran in with a hurried expression. "Take him away." Xiaoyang glanced at Yi Zichen, who crossed his legs nonchalantly, then placed the phone in his hand onto Officer Lin's table. "Captain, pick up a call first. It's from our chief." Officer Lin's expression changed. She was the one who picked up the call last time and let Yi Zichen escape. This time, he had taken all the advantage. If she were to let him run away again, Lil Lin. The phone rang. Officer Lin bit her lips and glared at Yi Zichen, then picked up the phone. "Yes, it's in my hands." "Why?" "He hurt people in front of me." "All right, I understand." Slap. After a few simple words, Officer Lin angrily hung up the phone and walked in front of Yi Zichen from the interrogation table. "I can go now, right?" Yi Zichen smiled, then stretched lazily in front of Officer Lin. Officer Lin's eyes were filled with a cold light. "You're amazing. There will always be people protecting you." "How would you know if I'm amazing or not?" "You haven't tried it before." Yi Zichen smiled playfully. Officer Lin raised her hand and acted like she was going to hit him. "Hey, the police can't hit people." Yi Zichen raised his hand to stop Officer Lin, then raised his eyebrows and walked toward the door. Just as he was about to step out of the door, he suddenly stopped in his tracks. His gaze swept across Officer Lin's body and finally stopped at the spot where she was standing. "In the future, don't just focus on that. Use your brain too." He turned around and waved at Officer Lin before leaving the interrogation room unhurriedly. Creak. Officer Lin, who was standing in the interrogation room, clenched her fists tightly. When the police officers next to her saw this, they shrunk their necks and quickly ran out of the interrogation room. "Yi Zichen, I really will remember you." When Yi Zichen walked out of the interrogation room, Su Yin was waiting anxiously at the entrance of the police station. Beside her was Elder Su and the group of guards. At the same time, there was also a man with a square face that he had never seen before. The man's face was expressionless. It was obvious that he wasn't someone who was good with words. However, Yi Zichen could sense a murderous aura that made him feel very uncomfortable. "Xiao Yi, they didn't make things difficult for you, right?" Elder Su walked up first. When Su Yin saw Yi Zichen, her expression softened slightly. Only the square-faced man continued to look at Yi Zichen with a scrutinizing gaze. "Who is this person?" Yi Zichen twitched his mouth silently, while he smiled casually on the surface. "What else do they dare to do to me? It's already pretty good that I didn't do anything to them." "Yi Zichen, it's great that you're fine." Su Yin checked out the square-faced man's expression a few times, then walked up. "Ding dong. Your affability level with Su Yin increased by 100. Current affability level, 150. Although the hero saving the beauty scene was cliché, it was this sort of cliché scene that could capture the hearts of countless beauties. Su Yin was no exception. The moment Yi Zichen stood up for her, she felt that all of the bad things about him had turned into good things. "Yi Zichen, right? Thank you very much for helping my daughter, Su Yin, and my father." At that moment, the square-faced man with a serious expression also spoke up. However, from his tone, Yi Zichen couldn't tell that the other party was thanking him. However, Yi Zichen was able to understand a few things. This guy is Su Yan's real father. Yi Zichen felt a bit worried about meeting his father-in-law so soon. Yi Zichen smiled embarrassedly, then scratched his head and said humbly, "It was nothing." However, Su Yan's father didn't say anything else to him. Instead, he reached out his hand to call the car over and indicated Su Yan and old man Su to get in. "Dad, I want to go back to school." "Get in." Su Yan's father's tone was unquestionable. Su Yan bit her lips and hesitated for a moment, But in the end, she didn't dare to retort at all and walked into the car. Yi Zichen, be careful on the road. Su Yin rolled down the window and shouted towards Yi Zichen before the car drove away. Yi Zichen nodded with a smile, then waved his hand towards Su Yin, while smiling wryly in his heart. This father-in-law doesn't seem to be easy to deal with. Ziz, it seems like your girlfriend's dad doesn't like you a lot. Lu Jing floated down from the sky with a playful smile. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes at her, then took out his phone and called Commissioner Lu. However, he didn't notice that when he found Commissioner Lu's phone number, the expression of Lu Jing, who floated in midair, drastically changed. Lu Ji, thank you. Yi Zichen had sent Commissioner Lu a message before coming to the police station. It was clear that Commissioner Lu had done something behind the scenes for him to be able to escape from Officer Lin's demonic clutches so quickly. You're welcome. This is just a small matter. Even if I didn't do anything, you would be fine. Yi Zichen knew very well that Commissioner Lu was referring to Elder Su, who was beside him. However, he did help out, so he still had to thank him. I still have to thank Lu Ji. No need to be so courteous with Lu Ji. Oh yeah, Lu Ji has a favor to ask. What is it? When do you have time? Come over to Lu Ji's house. Your sister-in-law has a bit of a problem, and her body has been getting worse recently. I want to ask you to take a look. No problem. Yi Zichen put his phone back into his pocket after Commissioner Lu ended the call. He looked up and saw Lu Jing, who floated in midair, had a very strange expression. Hey, what are you thinking about? Lu Jing trembled when she heard that, then revealed an unnatural smile. Nothing. Who did you call just now? A friend, sort of an old bro. Yi Zichen smiled softly. Then what did you guys talk about just now? Lu Jing's eyes clearly flashed with concern after she said that. We just chatted a bit and thanked each other. Old bro also told me that sister-in-law's body isn't too good and told me to go and take a look when I have time. Yi Zichen didn't think too much about it and just told her the contents of the call. Only after Yi Zichen finished did he raise his eyebrows. I didn't see you care about the calls before. Why do you care so much this time? It's fine, it's fine. Then you have to go and take a look for her soon. No matter what, Commissioner Lu did help you. Let's talk about it when I have time. Yi Zichen shrugged. He didn't have any medical skills, nor was he a psychiatrist. The only reason he could save people was because of the great recovery pill in his hands. Old Lord Taishang didn't appear often, and the pills he had were all stolen from the salaries of the heavenly soldiers. One day in heaven was 1 year on earth. Chapter 49. The great sage's life, saving Herr Lu Jing's expression became more and more unnatural as she stared closely at Yi Zichen. She then reminded him to take it seriously before returning to the Dragon Eye. Yi Zichen only felt that Lu Jing was a bit strange, but he didn't think too much about it. At the same time, in the Su family of Bingsheng, Dad, your health condition doesn't allow you to fool around like this. Su Qihu sat on the sofa with a frown and looked at Elder Su, who was tightly hugging the gourd in his hand. I know my body the best. If I drink this wine, it will only do me good. You can't do this. Cut the crap. Who's the boss here? Elder Su straightened his back. Su Qihu instantly lost his temper and shrugged. Dad, this is for your own good. Don't talk to this old man about useless things. This monkey wine must be handed over to me for safekeeping. Su Qihu revealed a helpless expression as he looked at Elder Su, who did not back down. After a long while, he let out a long sigh and said, All right, as you wish. But you must not be greedy. Your body really can't drink too much wine. Seeing Su Qihu admit defeat, Elder Su revealed a satisfied smile and nodded. This old man is very clear about this. This old man still wants to live until the day my precious granddaughter gets married. Su Qihu also lightly nodded. At this moment, old man Su put the gourd to the side and stuck his head forward. What do you think of that, young man? Which one? Su Qihu revealed a doubtful expression. The one who saved me in Yan. Old Master Su reminded him. Nothing much. Su Qihu shook his head. When he saw old man Su's unkind expression, he said in a daze, Dad, you can't be thinking of letting Su Yin date that kind of person, right? I'm telling you, I definitely won't agree to it. Why don't you agree? Little Yi is such a good child. Why? Don't tell me you want to use Xiaoyan for a political marriage? Old man Su glared at him. This time, Su Qihu did not have the slightest intention of giving in. Dad, that's impossible. Even if I don't use Yan's political marriage, I won't hand her over to someone like that. So you're saying that you miss me? It doesn't matter if I want to or not. If I say no, then no. With that, Su Qihu turned around and walked outside. Su Yan walked down from the second floor. She heard everything Elder Su and Su Qihu said. Grandpa, will my father really use me for a political marriage? I don't want to spend the rest of my life with people I've never even met. I don't want to live like that. Seeing his precious granddaughter's gloomy expression, old Master Su raised his hand and patted her head. Grandpa won't let you become a victim. Besides, your father won't do such a thing. But what he said just now, you're angry at this old man. Old Master Su smiled and looked at the green gourd beside him. You don't want a political marriage. What do you think if I let you be with Xiaoya? Su Yan hesitated for a long time, then muttered, I don't hate him. If you don't hate it, then you like it. Old Master Su laughed heartily and picked up the green gourd. All right, go back and rest. Leave the rest to Grandpa. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Yi Zichen was woken up from his sweet dream by a WeChat message. He groggily felt for his phone. Ever since he brought Lu Jing, the ghost girl, back, she would wake him up at 7 every morning. She was even more punctual than an alarm clock. It wasn't easy for Lu Jing to not wake him up today, but his phone rang again. Yi Zichen touched his phone and lit up the screen. F***CK. No wonder Lu Jing didn't wake him up. It's only F***king 6:30. Who the F***CK would send him a message so early in the morning? Yi Zichen, who was sleepy, looked at his phone. You're finally alive, my great sage. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen was no longer sleepy. Yi Zichen gulped and sat up from the bed, then clicked on his chat with the great sage. Monkey King, haha, you're back. Monkey King, old son, is really tired out this time. Tired out? Did you go on a business trip? Yi Zichen thought about it for a while, then sent a message in a testing manner. Where did great sage go to do business? Ding dong. Instant reply. Monkey King, you should also know that us deities aren't like mortals. Our lifespans are eternal. Recently, the population of the heavenly court has increased a bit. That old brat, the Jade Emperor, told me, old son, to sweep through the surrounding barbarian lands to expand our territory. So it's to fight for territory. Yi Zichen smiled knowingly, then started to chat. Yi Zichen, who went to expand the territory? I saw that none of the celestial friends went. Monkey King, is there a need for so many people to sweep through a barbarian land? Old son, brought a Jingu Bang, that's enough. Oh yeah, Erlang Shun wanted to fight over this business with old son, so I beat him up. Ugh. No wonder Erlang Shun didn't go and find him recently. It seems like he was beaten up by the Monkey King, so he was resting at home. However, Erlang Shun was still his sworn brother, so he still felt a bit bad. However, in Yi Zichen's heart, he still wanted to become sworn brothers with the great sage. Since he was able to beat up Erlang Shun, then he was definitely in existence that was like a gang leader in the heavenly court. I definitely have to get on good terms with this sort of person. Yi Zichen rubbed his hands, then looked around the dormitory. Coincidentally, Zhu Yunbai still had a bowl of instant noodles that he hadn't eaten while playing the game yesterday. Scan. Send. Ding dong. Monkey King received your red packet. Monkey King. What kind of treasure is this? Yi Zichen. This is what this little deity got from a secret location recently. It was tough for the great sage to fight in a barbarian land. This little deity doesn't have much to give to the great sage, so he just gave him a bowl of instant noodles to express his sincerity. Monkey King. Instant noodles? Yi Zichen's heart jumped. He actually accidentally said the name. But no matter, I can get it back. Yi Zichen. This is the name that this little deity gave it. The reason why it's called instant noodles. Yi Zichen blabbered a bunch of theoretical knowledge into the Monkey King. He understood the monkey's personality very well. This sort of knowledge was no different from Xuanzang reciting scriptures for him. Monkey King. All right, just tell old son how to eat it. Yi Zichen. Use water. Monkey King. All right, old son understands. Ding dong. Your intimacy level with the Monkey King increased by 5. Current intimacy level, 175. You are 25 away from trusted. The intimacy level increased again. Although the increase in intimacy level was a bit small, it was still meat. Not long later, the Monkey King sent another awkward emoji over. Monkey King, I old son, don't have anything good to give you. Yi Zichen, it's fine. As long as I have the great sage's kind intentions, it's fine. Monkey King, that won't do. I, old son, am not the type of person who likes to take advantage of others. Yi Zichen couldn't help but twitch his mouth when he saw that. Did the great sage not take advantage of others enough in Journey to the West? Whenever he saw something good, he would stuff it into his pocket. The people in the heavenly court were almost at their wits' end. Ding dong. Yi Zichen was stunned. He didn't think the great sage would really do it. He opened the red envelope. You have received the Monkey King's red packet. Chapter 50. First Sight Life-Saving Monkey Hair. What the hell is this? Monkey King. This monkey hair can save your life. Remember, don't use it unless it's absolutely necessary. Yi Zichen only reacted when he saw the great sage's message. How does the theme song of Journey to the West go? Blow 10,000 monkeys with a single strand of monkey hair. Could it be that this was the hair? If that's the case, then it's a huge gift. Yi Zichen, thank you, great sage. Monkey King, we're brothers. No need to be so courteous. All right, I old son is going to try out this treasure. Talk when you have time. The Monkey King disappeared. Yi Zichen clicked open the treasure chest and looked at the description of the monkey hair. Monkey hair, one of the 3 life-saving monkey hairs of the great sage. There is a mysterious power within it. Its exact usage and usage are unknown. It's F*King real. Gulp. Yi Zichen gulped, then secretly took out the monkey hair. The color of the monkey hair was a light yellow, similar to human hair. If a gust of wind suddenly blew it away, he wouldn't be able to find it. Just as he was about to put the monkey hair back into the treasure chest, the little ghost girl, Lu Jing, floated out of nowhere. What are you doing? That truly scared Yi Zichen. His hands trembled intensely as he looked up. Can you not be so scary? You'll scare me to death. That's great, then come with me. A hint of shyness flashed across Lu Jing's eyes when she said that. Yi Zichen ignored her and looked down at his hand once again. The monkey hair was gone. Where's my monkey hair? Yi Zichen was anxious. What monkey hair? Lu Jing had a cute look on her face. Yi Zichen raised his hand and pointed at her a few times, but in the end, he could only slap his thigh in anger. Life-saving monkey hair. The life-saving monkey hair that the great sage gave him. It's gone. Yi Zichen looked at his empty hand blankly and wanted to slap himself. What'd I take out to show off for? Great, it's completely gone now. Yi Zichen had wanted to find it, but after thinking about it, he gave up. Not to mention the fiery eyes of truth. Even a microscope wouldn't be able to find this kind of hair if it fell to the ground. Lu Jing. Yi Zichen pointed at Lu Jing for a long time without saying anything. He couldn't get mad at her. This girl didn't do it on purpose. If he had to blame someone, he could only blame himself for being arrogant. Letting out a long sigh, he simply covered his head and went to sleep. Don't sleep. I'm asking you, do you have time today? No. When are you going to treat Chief Lu's wife? It's none of your business. Yi Zichen covered his head with a blanket, then ignored Lu Jing, who was still yelling outside. Damn, the life-saving monkey hair was gone just like that. But the moment he covered himself with the blanket, a light yellow hair suddenly appeared on his right arm and disappeared among the many other hairs. After a day of classes, Yi Zichen dragged his tired body out of the classroom. The female ghost, Lu Qing, was floating right in front of him. She swayed back and forth, pouting her lips without saying a word. Can you stop bothering me? Yi Zichen stopped. Quite a few surrounding students also looked over when they heard his words. But when they saw that there was no one in front of him, they all revealed puzzled expressions. Yi Zichen took in everyone's expressions, then rubbed his hair and continued to walk out. However, the ghost girl, Lu Jing, floated over with a pout. Hey, have you thought about what I told you this morning? Yi Zichen ignored him and walked towards the school field. The ghost girl, Lu Jing, followed closely behind him and shouted, Did you hear me? Yi Zichen continued forward. Stop right there. Lu Jing roared at Yi Zichen angrily. Yi Zichen stopped, then looked at Lu Qing with a helpless expression and sighed. You're right. What exactly do you want? Lu Jing had been acting strangely recently. She kept asking him to treat Chief Lu's wife. He had never seen her so warm-hearted before. I want you to treat Chief Lu's wife. Look, here it comes again. For the past few days, Yi Zichen had been hearing this every single day, to the point where his head felt like it was about to explode. Why do you care so much about Chief Lu's wife's illness? He's your relative. I'm accumulating good karma for you. Do you understand? Lu Jing rolled her eyes at him and put her hands on her hips. You're an ignorant and incompetent person who only knows how to harm girls every day. If you don't accumulate more virtue, you'll go to hell. Can't you say something nicer? Yi Zichen's expression darkened. He was only in his 20s, but Lu Jing made it sound like he was about to die. I don't care. Hurry up and treat Chief Lu's wife. Just as Yi Zichen and Lu Jing were arguing endlessly, an elder with white hair and a youthful face suddenly appeared in front of Yi Zichen. You're Mr. Yi Zichen, right? Yi Zichen was slightly surprised that the old man who suddenly appeared actually recognized him, then nodded. Yeah, how do you know me? The elder laughed softly, then pointed behind him. Yi Zichen pointed at a young man with white hair dyed with wax. The young man waved at him when Yi Zichen looked towards him. What do you mean? Our family's young master wants to get to know you. The elder smiled and made a pleased gesture. Yi Zichen twitched his mouth and raised his eyebrows. I don't want to get to know your family's young master. With that, Yi Zichen was about to leave. Mr. Yi, if you're like this, then this old man will be in a very difficult situation. The elder raised his hand and blocked Yi Zichen's path. What? This is a university. Do you want to fight me here? Even if we fight, you might not be my match, Gramps. Ever since Yi Zichen ate the body-enhancing pill and learned the secret scripture of unbreakable body, he really didn't know how to write the word coward when it came to fighting. If this old man really wanted to fight him, then he didn't mind trying. Even if the school investigated, Yi Zichen could say that this old man was causing trouble for him. Yet, Mr. Yi, you are indeed undefeatable against this old man. But have you thought about your family? Hearing that, Yi Zichen's expression tensed up, then grabbed the elder's collar. What do you mean? Mr. Yi, don't be nervous. This old man is just reminding you out of goodwill. The mansion that your mother, Yi Rong, lives in seems to be in Riverside New City. Creak. Yi Zichen clenched his fist tightly. He stared at the old man for a long time, then turned around to look at the young man not far away. When the young man saw him, he still waved towards him with a smile. After a long while, Yi Zichen finally took a deep breath, then let go of the elder and walked towards the young man not far away. Mr. Yi. The young man smiled warmly, then raised his hand. Yi Zichen slapped his hand away, while his eyes were filled with coldness. Your actions seem to be a bit too despicable. Mr. Yi, what are you saying? I just want to get to know you. The young man maintained his faint smile. Yi Zichen raised his hand, grabbed the young man's collar, and directly lifted him up. I'm telling you, come at me if there's anything. If you dare to touch a single hair on my mother, then I will make you regret being born into this world. Bang! Chapter 51. Dogfather the young man smoothed out the wrinkles on his clothes, then nodded towards Yi Zichen's back with a meaningful smile. Young man, are you all right? The elder walked very slowly, but he moved extremely quickly. He only took a few steps to cross a distance of 10-odd meters. What could happen to me? The young man smiled. A hint of displeasure flashed across the elder's eyes. This brat doesn't know what's good for him. People with strength will most likely be prideful. The young man signaled the elder not to mind and smiled. Elder Hua, you might not know, but Yi Zichen has a virgin ghost with an unfinished life. Hearing that, Elder Hua was momentarily stunned, then quickly laughed happily. Then he deserves it. Virgin ghosts specialize in sucking men's yang energy. Wait, young master, you said unfinished life just now? The young man nodded slightly, then rubbed his nose. More importantly, this young man seems to be able to see this virgin ghost and even communicate with her. Elder Hua's expression drastically changed. He was unable to say anything for a long time. After a long while, he finally asked in a testing manner, "Could he have opened the eye of the heavens?" I don't know if he opened the eye of the heavens, but this person isn't a normal person. It seems like he might be the same as my goof family and come from that place. The young man shook his head with a smile, then left. The old man followed behind them, but after they left, he discovered that the old man's aura had disappeared. However, when they left, he noticed that the grass they stepped on did not have any signs of it collapsing. When they arrived at the Yi family mansion, Yi Zichen sat on a stone chair outside the courtyard without saying anything. He clenched his fist tightly. He couldn't understand why someone would target him, and most importantly, it even affected his family. "Zichen, eat some fruits." Yiron walked out with a smile. Yi Zichen immediately retracted the troubled expression on his face and chatted with her with a smile. However, he was thinking a way to deal with it. If he specifically found a bodyguard, Yiron would definitely be worried, and that would have the opposite effect. More importantly, the bodyguard might not be able to match up to those people. At that moment, Lil White walked out of the mansion proudly. When he saw Yi Zichen, he even lay beside Yi Ron with a tsundra look. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen's eyes brightened. Xiaobai would do. No matter what, this fellow was a dog from the heavenly court, so it might have some special abilities. "Little White, come here." Yi Zichen squatted on the ground and clapped towards Lil White. Lil White glanced at him in disdain, then ignored him. "Damn it, this damn dog. You're not coming? Very well, I'll go there myself." Yi Zichen walked in front of Lil White, grabbed it by the neck, and lifted it up. "Mom, I'll play with Xiao Bai for a while." "Go." Yi Rong replied with a gentle smile. "Dong." He casually threw Little White onto the gravel road outside the courtyard. Little White nimbly leaped and landed steadily on the ground. After that, it proudly raised its head and tilted its head in disdain. "This dog is so interesting." Lu Jing, who was floating in the air, giggled. Little White raised its head and bared its teeth at her. "It can see me?" Lu Jing was stunned for a moment. Although Yi Zichen was a bit surprised, it wasn't like he couldn't understand. Everything was possible for the species of the heavenly court. Lil White raised its head proudly once again. It seemed like it could even hear Lu Jing's words. Lu Jing, who was floating in the air, instantly became interested in Lil White. She descended from the sky, squatted in front of Lil White, and reached out her hand in an attempt to touch it. "Ugh, woof woof, you can really see me." Seeing that Lil White didn't want her to touch it, Lu Jing also retracted her hand and smiled at it. Lil White raised its paw and drew a circle on the ground. Yi Zichen slapped it on the head. "Stop acting cocky in front of us. Lousy has business with you." "Woof woof," Lil White was furious. A mere mortal actually dared to hit this celestial dog's prideful head. It leaped towards Yi Zichen's head. Slap! What greeted it was another five-fingered mountain. This time, Lil White was obedient. It bared its teeth towards Yi Zichen, then wagged its tail and walked towards the courtyard. A good dog doesn't fight when the odds are against it. I'm still too young right now. When it grows up, however, it didn't know how much bigger a poodle was. "Did I say you could leave?" Yi Zichen grabbed its tail and pulled it back, then raised his eyebrows. "Lil White, actually I have something to ask of you." Lil White instantly glared, then bared its teeth towards Yi Zichen and started to whine. It was as if it was saying, "You're bullying me even though you're begging me for something?" Yi Zichen chuckled, then reached out his hand to rub Lil White's head. Lil White opened its mouth to bite, but was met with another slap. "Don't act all high and mighty with me. I'm telling you, you can't beat me." Woof! Lil White wagged its tail and lowered its prideful head. Seeing that it gave in, Yi Zichen started to get serious. "You're the heavenly court's dog. Do you have any special abilities?" Lil White shook its tail and nodded. "Do you or not?" Lil White shook its tail and nodded. "Do you believe that I'm going to beat you up?" Yi Zichen raised his head and acted like he was going to hit him. Lil White quickly gave Lu Jing a look. "I know what Lil White is saying." Lu Jing quickly stopped Yi Zichen. Yi Zichen looked towards her in confusion. "You know, yeah, I don't know why either." "Then what did it say?" "Lil White told me that it's the heavenly court's dog, so it naturally has special abilities. It's just that it's too young, so it can't do anything other than act pretentious. Then what use do I have for you? Yi Zichen cursed angrily. This damn dog is pretty weird. It acts like it's so fierce every day, but it turns out it only knows how to act pretentious. Woof, woof, what did it say now? Yi Zichen turned towards Lu Jing. It said that it'll be amazing when it grows up. Even normal heavenly soldiers won't be able to match it, Lu Jing translated. Yi Zichen was shocked. If even heavenly soldiers can't match it, then it's pretty strong. Although he didn't know how strong heavenly soldiers were, since they're from the heavenly court, then how could they not be beaten by mortals? If this dog is even fiercer than heavenly soldiers, then isn't it invincible in the lower realm? How can you grow up? Yi Zichen asked once again. Woof, woof, it said that it can't absorb any energy from the things here, so it can't grow up. It would be great if it could get something from the heavenly court. No problem. Yi Zichen's eyes brightened. Isn't it just food from the heavenly court? What a simple question. Don't forget, his sworn brother is a huge dog breeder in the heavenly court. Woof, woof, what did he say now? He said that you're bragging. Lu Jing couldn't help but laugh as she translated, but she felt that it was even more amazing. The dog could see her, and she could even understand what the dog was saying. More importantly, the dog and Yi Zichen were actually talking about something like the heavenly court. For some reason, she recalled the chat group that Yi Zichen showed her. Could it really be a group of deities? Yi Zichen got angry after being looked down upon by the dog. Little bastard, wait until Lousy gets you food from the heavenly court then? Woof, woof. What did he say now? He said that if you get it, then it's fine even if it recognizes you as its dad. Chapter 52. How when released from prison he didn't want to be a dog father, nor did he want a dog son like Lil White. Yi Zichen reached out his hand to pat Lil White's head, then raised his eyebrows with a smile. Don't try to get close to me. I'll get you some howling, celestial dog's food later. You just have to work hard for me. Instantly, Whitey's head nodded like a rattle drum. Yi Zichen understood without Lu Jing translating and agreed. Yi Zichen opened his WeChat friend list and chose to talk to Erlang Shun. Of course, he wouldn't go to the celestial hound directly, who knew what was barking for. Brother. Yi Zichen greeted him warmly, then added 3 emojis of soldiers smoking. Ding dong. About 5 minutes later, a 1 appeared on Erlang Shun's profile picture. Erlang Shun, what's wrong? Although it was a simple text message, Yi Zichen could sense his sworn brother's dispiritedness. Yi Zichen, why are you so depressed? Erlang Shun, don't mention it. I'm too embarrassed to say it. Yi Zichen instantly understood. The great sage had told him earlier that he beat up Erlang Shun. From the looks of it, he wasn't lying. All of a sudden, Yi Zichen didn't know how to ask Erlang Shun for dog food since he was in such a low mood. However, he didn't expect that Erlang Shun, this fellow, was quite tactful and knocked himself into the muzzle. Erlang Shun, bro, you must have something to tell me, right? Yi Zichen, there really is something, followed by a row of awkward expressions. Erlang Shun, if you have something to say, just say it. As long as I can do it, I will definitely do it for you. This was the benefit of having a high level of intimacy. The other party would have absolute trust in him. Yi Zichen licked his lips. He wasn't someone who liked to waste time, so he got straight to the point. Yi Zichen, do you remember the howling celestial dog's red packet a while ago? Erlang Shun, that did happen. Yi Zichen, I snatched one back then, but you know that I've been in a secret location recently. There aren't many dogs here to eat. Ever since it started following me, it has been eating only scraps of food and has lost weight. Erlang Shun understood. Ding dong. Without a word, the red packet was delivered to him. You have received Erlang Shun's red packet. Heavenly Dog Biscuit X5. Yi Zichen clicked open the WeChat treasure chest and clicked on the Heavenly Court Dog Biscuit, then directly chose to withdraw it. On the gravel road, a gleaming bone fell to the ground. Woof woof, Little White revealed an excited expression as it howled and pounced towards the dog bones. Yi Zichen, how did you do it? Lu Jing, who was floating in the air, widened her eyes. This dog bone appeared too abruptly, just like a magic trick. What's more, she also saw Yi Zichen and Erlang Shun chat, and saw him open the WeChat treasure chest. In her era, WeChat didn't have this function. I told you, Big Brother knows people from the heavenly court, but you didn't believe me. Yi Zichen rolled his eyes. This could be said to be his most private secret. He didn't even tell Yi Rong. The main reason why he could let Lu Jing know without any scruples was that she was a female ghost. No one could talk to her except him. Another thing was that she was too cute. Yi Zichen returned to his chat with Erlang Shun. Just when he wanted to thank him, he saw a message from Erlang Shun. Erlang Shun, I'm rather tight on money recently, so I don't have much dog biscuit, but should be enough for a while. I'll give bro more when I get paid. He wasn't lying to Yi Zichen. He had seen this guy complain about being poor on the first day he joined the WeChat group. Erlang Shen definitely had an important position in the heavenly court and was definitely a rich person in the heavenly court. However, he actually said that he was tight on money. Yi Zichen smiled. It seems like my landlord will be able to open up in the heavenly court very soon. Thinking that, Yi Zichen directly sent a message to Erlang Shun. Yi Zichen, bro, don't worry. I'll teach you a way to earn money later, then you'll definitely win it all back with interest. Erlang Shun replied almost instantly the moment he sent the message back. Erlang Shun, then just tell me directly, why are you still waiting? Yi Zichen, it's not time yet. Yi Zichen ignored Erlang Shun's question with a naughty smile and put his phone back into his pocket. Playing mahjong, fighting the landlord, shaking dice, he would definitely promote these in the heavenly court, but he needed to get the most out of it. If he gave out so easily, then what would he earn? He needed to pique Erlang Shun's interest, then talk to him when the time was right. That would definitely be much more effective. Yi Zichen looked towards Lil White. He had already finished eating the dog bone. Lil White was currently sleeping on the ground, but Yi Zichen could feel that Lil White's essence energy was steadily increasing. From the looks of it, it was absorbing the bone. As a dog in the heavenly court, the howling celestial dog definitely ate high-end stuff. It was very normal for a guy like Lil White, who was eliminated in the poodle selection, to absorb some of the energy after eating it. What Yi Zichen had to do now was wait for Lil White to wake up. 3 days later, during these 3 days, Yi Zichen would come to the mansion after class. The first reason was because he was worried about Yi Rong's safety, and the second was because he was worried about Lil White's situation. During that period of time, Yi Rong wanted to take Lil White to the pet hospital several times, but Yi Zichen stopped her. Zichen, Lil White just sleeps like this every day. Are we really not going to take him to have a look? Yi Rong looked at Lil White, who was lying in his little nest, with a hint of worry. Yi Zichen was worried as well. Lil White was his bargaining chip to protect Yi Rong. If something happened to him, then Yi Zichen really wouldn't know what to do. Fortunately, Yi Zichen could sense Lil White's situation. At least he wasn't in any danger. Buzz. The phone in Yi Zichen's pocket rang. He looked at the caller ID and smiled, then walked out of the mansion after greeting Yi Rong. What? You missed me? The person who called him was Xiao Yumei. She had confirmed their relationship, so Yi Zichen's tone was a bit flirtatious. Yeah, I thought you forgot about me. You actually didn't contact me after so long. Ugh. Yi Zichen revealed a troubled expression. It was indeed his fault for not contacting Xiao Yumei, so he couldn't get out of it. Yi Zichen held the phone for a long time without saying anything. At that moment, Xiao Yumei giggled and comforted him. All right, I know you're busy. I don't blame you. I didn't want to disturb you, but Xiao Yumei wanted to say something, but then stopped. From her tone, Yi Zichen could tell that she definitely had something very important to tell him. But what? Howlin came out. Xiao Yumei's tone was rather solemn. However, she might have been afraid that Yi Zichen would worry, so she added, He didn't cause any trouble for me. What? Yi Zichen was shocked.